One day, your life will become a memory. Your name will be spoken less. Your room will become quiet. The things you worried about will no longer matter. And in that final moment, you will not ask how many people admired you, how much money you collected, or how many times you were right. You will ask yourself one question: did I truly live, or did I only survive? Buddhism teaches that death is not here to make us afraid. Death is here to wake us up. Because when you remember that life is short, you stop wasting your soul on anger, fear, attachment, and things that were never worth your peace. 1. Remember that life is passing right now. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent. Nothing stays the same forever. Your body is changing every day. Your age is moving forward. Your relationships are changing, and the moments you are living right now will never come back again. Many people live as if they have unlimited time. They keep saying, "One day I will be happy. One day I will forgive. One day I will take care of myself. One day I will start living the way I truly want." But life does not wait for the perfect day. Life is happening now, even while you are busy postponing your peace. Every morning you wake up is a blessing. But most people forget this. They rush through the day, complain about small problems, worry about things they cannot control, and forget that simply being alive is already a gift. Someone in the world took their last breath last night, while you were given another chance today. To live fully, remember that your time is not endless. This thought is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. When you understand that life is passing, you begin to choose your days more wisely. You stop wasting your heart on small anger, useless arguments, fake approval, and things that will not matter in the end. 2. Stop living only in your mind. Many people are alive in the body, but trapped inside their mind. They are eating, walking, working, and sitting with people, but their thoughts are somewhere else. They keep thinking about the past, worrying about the future, and missing the life that is happening right in front of them. Buddhism teaches mindfulness because the present moment is the only place where life truly exists. You cannot go back and change yesterday. You cannot fully control tomorrow. But you can return to this moment, breathe deeply, and notice that you are alive right now. When you drink water, feel the water. When you walk, feel your steps. When someone speaks to you, listen with your full attention. When you breathe, remember that this breath is life entering you. To live fully, you must stop letting your mind steal every moment from you. Peace begins when you come back to the present and learn to live where your life actually is. 3. Let go of the things you cannot keep. One of the biggest reasons people suffer is because they try to hold on to things that were never meant to stay the same forever. They hold on to people, memories, old versions of themselves, past pain, and moments that have already changed. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is temporary. People change, feelings change, situations change, and even the things you love today may not remain the same tomorrow. When you try to control everything, your heart becomes tired. Letting go does not mean you do not care. It means you understand life more deeply. You can love someone without trying to own them. You can enjoy a beautiful moment without being afraid that it will end. You can accept change without feeling like your whole life is falling apart. To live fully, learn to hold life gently. Appreciate what is here while it is here. Love deeply, but do not cling. Enjoy the moment, but do not demand that it stays forever. When you stop fighting change, your heart becomes lighter, calmer, and more free. 4. Do not wait for perfect conditions to be peaceful. Many people spend their whole life waiting for the perfect moment to feel peaceful. They say, "I will be happy when I have more money. I will be calm when my problems end. I will enjoy life when people treat me better. I will finally relax when everything becomes easy." But life does not always become easy before it becomes meaningful. Buddhism teaches that peace does not come from having a perfect life. Peace comes from learning how to keep your mind steady, even when life is imperfect. There will always be something unfinished. There will always be something you cannot control. There will always be a person, a problem, a delay, or a fear trying to disturb your heart. If you wait for every problem to disappear before you live fully, you may spend your whole life waiting. Because after one problem ends, another one may appear. After one desire is fulfilled, the mind may create another desire. This is why Buddhism teaches us to stop making our peace depend only on outside conditions. This does not mean you stop improving your life. It does not mean you accept pain without taking action. It means you learn to breathe even while life is not perfect. You learn to be grateful, even when you still have struggles. You learn to take care of your heart, even when the world around you feels heavy. To live fully, you must stop saying, "I will live when everything is fixed." Start living while things are still unfinished. Smile even when life is not perfect. Be kind, even when you are tired. Take one peaceful breath, even when your mind feels busy. The present moment may not be perfect, but it is still your life. A peaceful person is not someone who has no problems. A peaceful person is someone who does not allow every problem to control their soul. They understand that life will always change, but their inner world can become stronger, calmer, and wiser with practice. So do not wait for perfect conditions to be peaceful. Build peace inside yourself now, in the middle of this imperfect life. 5. Live with a heart that does not carry poison. Many people walk through life with a heart full of anger, resentment, jealousy, and old pain. They smile on the outside, but inside they are still carrying the weight of what someone said, what someone did, or how someone made them feel. They think they are protecting themselves by holding on to bitterness, but slowly that bitterness starts to poison their own peace. Buddhism teaches that hatred never ends hatred. Anger does not heal anger. Revenge does not heal pain. When you keep feeding resentment, the other person may have already moved on, but your own heart remains trapped in the past. You keep remembering the same wound again and again, and every time you remember it with anger, you suffer again. This does not mean you should allow people to hurt you. It does not mean you should trust everyone again. Buddhism does not teach weakness. It teaches awareness. You can forgive someone and still keep distance. You can release anger and still protect your boundaries. You can choose peace without allowing the same pain to enter your life again. To live fully, you must understand that your heart is too precious to become a home for poison. If someone hurt you, learn from it. If someone betrayed you, become wiser. If someone disrespected you, step away with dignity. But do not carry their darkness inside you forever. A peaceful heart does not mean nothing bad ever happened to you. It means you decided that your future will not be controlled by your past. You decided that your soul deserves freedom more than your ego wants revenge. When you let go of anger, you create space for peace. When you release jealousy, you create space for gratitude. When you stop carrying old pain, you create space for new life. This is how you begin to live fully again. Do not let one painful chapter make your whole life bitter. Your heart can still become soft, kind, strong, and free. The pain may have touched you, but it does not have to become you. 6. Stop chasing what only makes you empty. Many people spend their whole life chasing things they believe will finally make them happy. They chase more money, more attention, more praise, more status, more pleasure, and more approval from others. They think, when I get this, I will finally feel complete. But after they get it, the happiness does not stay for long. Soon, the mind starts wanting something else. Buddhism teaches that endless desire creates endless suffering. The problem is not having goals or wanting a better life. The problem begins when your peace depends completely on getting more and more from the outside world. When the mind is never satisfied, even success can feel empty. Some desires look beautiful in the beginning, but they slowly drain your soul. You may chase people who do not respect you. You may chase attention that only feeds your ego for a moment. You may chase pleasure that gives short comfort but leaves you more restless later. You may chase a life that looks good to others, but feels empty inside your own heart. To live fully, you must learn the difference between what excites you for a moment and what truly nourishes your soul. Peace, kindness, wisdom, self-respect, good health, honest work, and a calm mind may not always look exciting, but they make your life deeper and stronger. Before you chase something, ask yourself, will this bring real peace, or will it only make me hungry for more? Not everything you want is good for you. Not every desire deserves your energy. Some things only look like happiness from far away, but when you reach them, you realize they were only another form of emptiness. A full life is not built by collecting everything your mind wants. It is built by understanding what your soul truly needs. When you stop chasing empty things, you finally create space for the things that give your life meaning. 7. Be kind before it is too late. Many people wait too long to show kindness. They think they will say the loving words later. They think they will apologize later. They think they will spend time with someone later. But life is uncertain, and later is not promised to anyone. The person you ignore today may not always be there tomorrow. Buddhism teaches us to live with compassion because every person is fighting some kind of inner battle. Some people hide their pain behind silence. Some hide it behind anger. Some hide it behind a smile. When you remember that everyone is suffering in some way, your heart becomes softer and more understanding. Being kind does not mean you allow people to disrespect you. It does not mean you become weak or let others take advantage of your goodness. True kindness has wisdom inside it. You can be gentle and still have boundaries. You can forgive and still walk away. You can care for others without losing yourself. To live fully, do not keep love locked inside your heart. Say the kind words while people can still hear them. Appreciate someone while they are still near you. Help where you can. Speak with softness when harsh words are not needed. Sometimes one small act of kindness can give someone strength to continue. Many people regret the words they never said more than the things they failed to achieve. They remember the person they should have called, the apology they delayed, the gratitude they kept hidden, or the love they were too proud to express. Do not let your heart become full of unsaid kindness. A life lived fully is not only about what you gain, it is also about what you give. Give peace, give respect, give patience, give a listening ear, give forgiveness when your heart is ready. Give kindness, not because the world is always kind, but because you do not want to become hard inside. Before it is too late, become the kind of person who leaves people lighter than before. Let your presence become a place of comfort, not fear. Let your words heal more than they hurt. In the end, people may forget many things about you, but they will remember how your heart made them feel. 8. Make peace with being alone. Many people are afraid of being alone because silence makes them face what they have been avoiding. When there is no noise, no distraction, and no one around to entertain them, they begin to hear their own thoughts clearly. This is why many people keep themselves busy all the time. They scroll, talk, chase people, and fill every empty space because they do not know how to sit peacefully with themselves. Buddhism teaches that solitude is not a punishment. It can become a path to wisdom. When you are alone, you begin to see yourself more clearly. You notice what hurts you, what controls you, what you are attached to, and what your heart truly needs. Silence can show you the truth that noise keeps hiding. Being alone does not mean you are unwanted. It does not mean nobody loves you. Sometimes being alone simply means life is giving you space to return to yourself. In that space, you can heal, breathe, think clearly, and understand your own soul without the pressure of other people's opinions. To live fully, you must stop running from your own presence. Learn to sit quietly without feeling empty. Learn to enjoy your own company without needing constant attention. Learn to listen to your heart without judging every feeling that comes up. The more comfortable you become with yourself, the less you will depend on the wrong people to feel complete. Many people stay in painful relationships, toxic friendships, and draining environments only because they fear loneliness. They choose noise over peace. They choose company over self-respect. They choose people who hurt them because being alone feels scary. But when you make peace with solitude, you stop begging for anyone to stay at the cost of your own soul. A person who is peaceful alone becomes powerful in life. They do not chase every voice. They do not accept every invitation. They do not fear silence. They know that their worth is not measured by how many people surround them, but by how deeply they are connected to themselves. Solitude teaches you that you are not incomplete without constant attention. You can be alone and still be whole. You can be quiet and still be strong. You can walk by yourself and still be deeply supported by your own inner peace. When you stop fearing being alone, you begin to choose people from love, not from fear. You allow only those who bring peace, respect, and honesty into your life. And this is one of the deepest ways to live fully, to be at home within yourself. 9. Do not let fear choose your life. Many people do not live the life they truly want because fear makes their choices for them. They stay silent when their heart wants to speak. They stay in places that hurt them because they fear change. They give up on dreams because they fear failure. They hide their real self because they fear judgment. Slowly, fear becomes the invisible master of their life. Buddhism teaches us to observe fear instead of blindly obeying it. Fear is a feeling that rises in the mind, but it is not always the truth. Sometimes fear is trying to protect you, but sometimes fear is only repeating old pain, old doubt, and old stories that no longer belong to you. To live fully, you must look honestly at how many decisions you have made because you were afraid. Maybe you did not start something because you thought you were not ready. Maybe you did not leave something because you feared being alone. Maybe you did not speak the truth because you were afraid people would reject you. But a life controlled by fear becomes a life half-lived. You may stay safe on the outside, but inside you feel trapped. You may avoid failure, but you also avoid growth. You may avoid judgment, but you also hide your light from the world. This does not mean you must become fearless. Even strong people feel fear. Even wise people feel uncertainty. The difference is that they do not let fear make every decision. They breathe, they observe the fear, and then they take the next right step with awareness. Courage does not always look loud. Sometimes courage is simply trying again after disappointment. Sometimes courage is walking away from what breaks your peace. Sometimes courage is choosing your truth, even when your voice shakes. Do not wait until fear disappears before you begin. Begin while fear is still there. Take one small step, then another. Each step teaches your mind that fear does not have to control you. When you stop letting fear choose your life, you begin to live with more honesty, freedom, and strength. You realize that the life you want is not waiting on the other side of comfort. It is waiting on the other side of courage. 10. Live simply so your soul can breathe. Many people make life heavy because they fill it with too much. Too many desires, too many distractions, too many unnecessary worries, too many comparisons, and too many things they do not truly need. Their days become busy, but their hearts feel empty. Their homes may be full, their phones may be full, their minds may be full, but their souls feel tired. Buddhism teaches simplicity because a simple life gives the mind space to become peaceful. When your life is crowded with endless wants, your heart cannot rest. You keep chasing, buying, proving, explaining, and comparing, but deep inside you still feel something is missing. Living simply does not mean living a boring life. It does not mean you must leave everything behind or stop having dreams. It means you begin to understand what is truly necessary and what is only making your life heavier. You stop carrying things that do not bring peace. You stop giving attention to every noise. You stop trying to impress people who are not even living your life. To live fully, You must ask yourself, what is making my life heavy? Maybe it is too much attachment. Maybe it is too much social media. Maybe it is too much overthinking. Maybe it is too many fake relationships. Maybe it is the constant need to prove that you are successful, happy, or important. When you simplify your life, you create room for what really matters. You have more time to breathe, to think clearly, to care for your health, to sit in silence, to enjoy your family, to do honest work, and to feel grateful for small blessings. You begin to see that peace is not always found in having more. Sometimes peace begins when you need less. A simple life allows you to notice the beauty you were too busy to see before. A quiet morning, a warm cup of tea, a deep breath, a peaceful walk, a kind conversation, and a moment of stillness can become deeply meaningful when your mind is no longer running after everything. Many people are rich in things but poor in peace. They have many choices but no calm. They have many connections but no real closeness. They have many plans but no presence. Buddhism reminds us that a full life is not measured by how much you collect, but by how deeply you experience what is already here. So live simply. Remove what drains you. Let go of what is unnecessary. Choose peace over noise, depth over appearance, and contentment over endless desire. When your life becomes simpler, your soul finally has space to breathe, heal, and live fully. 11. Accept pain without becoming pain. Pain is a part of life that no one can completely escape. Every person will face disappointment, loss, failure, rejection, misunderstanding, and difficult days. Buddhism does not teach that life will never hurt you. It teaches you how to meet pain without letting pain destroy your inner peace. Many people suffer twice. First, they suffer because something painful happens. Then they suffer again because they keep fighting the pain in their mind. They say, "Why did this happen to me? Why is life unfair? Why did they hurt me? Why am I always the one who suffers?" These thoughts make the wound deeper because the mind keeps touching the same pain again and again. Buddhism teaches us to observe pain with awareness. When pain comes, do not immediately run from it, hide it, or pretend you are fine. Sit with it gently. Breathe. Notice what you feel. Say to yourself, "This is pain, this is sadness, this is disappointment, but this is not the whole of me." When you can observe your pain, you stop becoming a prisoner of it. To live fully, you must understand that pain is something you experience, not something you are. You may feel broken, but you are not only broken. You may feel sad, but you are not only sadness. You may feel lost, but you are not the loss itself. Feelings rise, stay for a while, and then change. Just like clouds pass through the sky, pain also passes through the heart. This does not mean you should ignore your suffering. It means you should not build your whole identity around it. Some people go through one painful chapter and then spend the rest of their life saying, "This is who I am now." But Buddhism reminds us that every moment gives us a chance to begin again. Your past may explain your pain, but it does not have to control your future. Pain can teach you wisdom if you do not let it make you bitter. A loss can teach you the value of what truly matters. A betrayal can teach you discernment. A failure can teach you patience. A difficult season can teach you strength. But for pain to become wisdom, you must stop asking only, "Why did this happen?" and begin asking, "What can this teach me?" A peaceful person is not someone who has never suffered. A peaceful person is someone who has suffered and still chooses not to become cruel, hopeless, or empty inside. They allow pain to soften their heart, not harden it. They allow suffering to deepen their understanding, not close their soul. To accept pain does not mean you love pain. It means you stop fighting reality in a way that only creates more suffering. You take care of yourself. You give yourself time. You speak kindly to your own heart. You let healing happen slowly, without forcing yourself to be strong every moment. Do not let pain become your home. Let it become a teacher that visits, teaches, and leaves. You are still alive, You are still growing. You are still capable of peace, love, and new beginnings. The wound may be part of your story, but it is not the end of your story. To live fully, accept that life will sometimes hurt, but never believe that pain is all life has to offer. Beyond the pain, there is still beauty. Beyond the loss, there is still meaning. Beyond the difficult season, there is still a quieter, wiser version of you waiting to rise. 12. Die with nothing left unlived inside you. One day, every person will reach the end of this life. No matter how rich, strong, beautiful, famous, or successful someone becomes, the final moment will come. Buddhism reminds us of death, not to make us sad, but to help us live with more awareness. When you remember that life is temporary, you begin to see what truly matters. Many people spend their whole life trying to impress others, but they never ask if their own soul is peaceful. They chase approval, hide their feelings, delay their dreams, and keep waiting for the right time to live honestly. Then one day, they look back and realize they lived for everyone except themselves. To live fully, you must not wait until the end to understand the value of your life. Do not wait until your body becomes weak to care for your health. Do not wait until someone is gone to show love. Do not wait until time has passed to forgive, to begin, to change, or to choose peace. Ask yourself, if my life ended one day, what would I regret not doing? What words would I regret not saying? What dream would I regret leaving behind? What kind of person would I wish I had become? These questions are not meant to create fear. They are meant to wake up the part of you that has been sleeping. Buddhism teaches that a meaningful life is not about collecting more things. It is about becoming more awake, more kind, more peaceful, and more free inside. It is about living with a heart that is not full of regret. It is about knowing you did not waste your days on hatred, jealousy, ego, and meaningless comparison. When you live with awareness of death, small things stop controlling you so much. You stop fighting every useless argument. You stop trying to please people who never understand you. You stop carrying pain that only makes your heart heavy. You begin to choose your time, your energy, and your peace more carefully. To die with nothing left unlived inside you means you loved while you had the chance. You forgave what needed to be released. You walked away from what was destroying your peace. You followed the path that felt true to your soul. You became honest with yourself before life forced you to see the truth. Do not leave this world with your real life still trapped inside you. Do not keep your kindness hidden. Do not keep your dreams buried. Do not keep waiting for permission to live. This breath, this day, this moment is already your chance. Live in such a way that when your final day comes, your heart can say, I was present. I loved deeply. I learned from pain. I let go of what was not mine. I became more peaceful. I did not waste the gift of being alive. That is what it means to live before you die. 13. Wake up before life wakes you up through pain. Many people do not change when life is gentle with them. They change only when life becomes painful. They ignore their health until sickness comes. They ignore their peace until stress breaks them. They ignore their loved ones until distance grows. They ignore their own soul until they feel completely empty inside. This is why Buddhism teaches awareness before suffering becomes your teacher. To live fully, you must not wait for pain to force you to wake up. You do not need to lose everything before you understand what matters. You do not need to become broken before you start taking care of your heart. You do not need to reach the final years of your life before you realize that time was always precious. Many people are sleeping while their life is passing. They wake up in the morning, but their mind is not awake. They follow the same habits, repeat the same worries, chase the same desires, and carry the same anger every day. They live as if life will always give them another chance. But Buddhism reminds us that every moment is uncertain. Every day is a gift, not a guarantee. A person may have a home, food, family, work, and comfort, but still feel spiritually asleep. Why? because they are not present, they are not grateful, they are not looking deeply at their own life. They are only moving from one task to another, one desire to another, one distraction to another. Their body is alive, but their heart is not fully awake. To wake up means to see your life clearly. It means you stop pretending that everything is fine when your soul is tired. It means you stop lying to yourself about what is hurting you. It means you stop wasting your energy on people, habits, and desires that slowly take you away from peace. Buddhism teaches that suffering often comes from ignorance. Ignorance does not only mean not knowing facts. It also means not seeing clearly. It means you do not see how your anger is burning you. You do not see how your attachment is trapping you. You do not see how your desire for approval is controlling you. You do not see how your fear is choosing your life for you. When you begin to see clearly, life starts to change. You no longer blame everyone for your inner condition. You begin to ask, what am I holding that I need to release? What am I chasing that is making me empty? What am I avoiding that I need to face? What truth have I been ignoring because it is uncomfortable? This kind of honesty is not easy, but it is powerful. Many people want peace, but they do not want truth. They want healing, but they do not want to face the wound. They want a new life, but they keep protecting the same habits that created their suffering. Buddhism teaches that real freedom begins when you stop running from reality. If your heart is tired, do not ignore it. If your mind is restless, do not keep feeding it more noise. If your relationships are draining you, do not pretend they are healthy. If your life feels empty, do not cover the emptiness with more distractions. Stop for a moment. Breathe. Look deeply. Ask yourself what your soul is trying to tell you. Sometimes the quiet voice inside you already knows the truth. It knows when something is not right. It knows when you are giving too much to the wrong place. It knows when you are betraying yourself just to keep peace with others. It knows when you are living far away from the person you were meant to become, but because the truth feels uncomfortable, you keep distracting yourself. This is why waking up requires courage. It is easier to stay busy than to sit in silence. It is easier to blame others than to examine yourself. It is easier to chase pleasure than to face emptiness. It is easier to repeat old habits than to create a new path. But the easy way is not always the peaceful way. To live fully, you must become brave enough to wake up while you still have time. Wake up to your body before it becomes weak. Wake up to your mind before stress becomes your normal state. Wake up to your relationships before love turns into regret. Wake up to your dreams before fear buries them completely. Wake up to your soul before life feels like something you only survived, not something you truly lived. Many people think awakening is something mystical, but it can begin in a very simple way. It begins when you notice your breath. It begins when you stop before reacting in anger. It begins when you choose kindness instead of harshness. It begins when you listen deeply instead of rushing to speak. It begins when you tell yourself the truth instead of hiding behind excuses. Awakening is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aware. You may still make mistakes. You may still feel sadness, fear, anger, and confusion. But now you see what is happening inside you. You are no longer completely controlled by every emotion. You are learning to observe your mind instead of becoming lost inside it. When you wake up, you begin to understand that life is not only about getting more, it is about becoming more conscious, more present, more compassionate, more peaceful, more honest, more free. You stop measuring your life only by what you own, and you begin to measure it by how deeply you live. A person who is awake does not waste every day in complaint. They understand that life is short. They do not spend years hating people who hurt them. They do not destroy their health chasing things that do not nourish the soul. They do not lose their inner peace trying to control what cannot be controlled. They begin to live with wisdom. This does not mean life becomes easy. Even an awakened person faces problems, They still experience loss. They still meet difficult people. They still feel pain. But they do not sleep through their suffering. They learn from it. They do not let pain make them bitter. They let pain make them deeper. When life hurts, an unaware person only asks, "Why me?" But an awakened person asks, "What is this teaching me?" This question changes everything. It turns suffering into wisdom. It turns disappointment into growth. It turns loss into deeper understanding. It turns pain into a doorway toward inner freedom. To wake up before life wakes you up through pain means you start learning now. You start changing now. You start appreciating now. You start forgiving now. You start living now. You stop waiting for a disaster, a goodbye, a sickness, or a breakdown to remind you that life is precious. Look at your life today. What are you ignoring? What are you postponing? What are you carrying that is making your heart heavy? What are you giving your energy to that will not matter in the end? These questions are not meant to make you feel guilty. They are meant to bring you back to yourself. Maybe you need to forgive someone, not because they deserve your closeness, but because your heart deserves freedom. Maybe you need to leave something, not because it is easy, but because staying is slowly destroying you. Maybe you need to begin again, not because you feel ready, but because your soul cannot keep living in the same old pain. Buddhism reminds us that every day is a chance to return. Return to awareness. Return to kindness. Return to simplicity. Return to your breath. Return to the present moment. Return to the truth that life is happening now, not later. Do not wait for old age to teach you the value of youth. Do not wait for sickness to teach you the value of health. Do not wait for loneliness to teach you the value of love. Do not wait for death to teach you the value of life. Learn now, while your breath is still here. The world will always try to pull you into sleep. It will tell you to chase more, compare more, worry more, desire more, and prove more. But wisdom quietly tells you to slow down, to breathe, to notice, to let go, to live with a heart that is awake. A fully lived life is not only a life full of achievements, it is a life full of awareness. It is a life where you were present for the small moments. You felt gratitude for simple blessings. You loved without always trying to control. You walked away from what harmed your peace. You became kinder because you understood suffering. You became calmer because you stopped fighting every change. When you wake up, ordinary life becomes meaningful. A sunrise is not just a sunrise. It becomes a reminder that life begins again. A breath is not just a breath. It becomes proof that you are still here. A conversation is not just words. It becomes a chance to listen with love. A difficult moment is not only pain. It becomes a chance to practice patience, wisdom, and compassion. This is the beauty of awareness. It does not always change what happens outside, but it changes how you experience everything inside. The same life that once felt empty can begin to feel sacred when you are truly present. So do not sleepwalk through your days. Do not let your life become a routine without a soul. Do not let your heart become numb from too much noise, too much fear, and too much chasing. Wake up now. Look at your life with honest eyes. Choose what brings peace. Release what brings poison. Protect what is precious. Appreciate what is still here. One day, you will look back on your life. The question will not only be, did I survive? The deeper question will be, was I awake while I was alive? Did you notice the moments? Did you love the people? Did you listen to your soul? Did you stop wasting your days on things that never truly mattered? To live before you die means to wake up before life forces you to wake up. It means you stop waiting for pain to become your teacher. It means you let wisdom guide you now. You become aware before regret arrives. You become grateful before loss reminds you. You become peaceful before the world becomes perfect. This breath is your invitation. This moment is your doorway. This day is your chance. Wake up, live fully, and do not leave your life unlived while you are still alive. 14. Stop treating your life like something ordinary. Many people receive the gift of life every morning, but they do not feel the value of it. They open their eyes, breathe again, stand again, speak again, walk again, and still treat the day like it is nothing special. They only notice the miracle of life when something threatens it. They only value health when sickness comes. They only value time when time is almost gone. They only value people when distance, silence, or death teaches them what they had. Buddhism teaches us to look deeply at ordinary life, because what we call ordinary is often full of quiet miracles. A breath is not small. A heartbeat is not small. A peaceful morning is not small. A kind word is not small. A meal, a home, a friend, a family member, a moment of silence, and one more day to begin again are not small things. They only look small because the mind is too distracted to see them. Most people are always waiting for something bigger before they feel alive. They think life will begin when they become successful, when they are loved by the right person, when they have more money, when they move somewhere else, when their problems disappear, or when everyone finally understands them. But while they are waiting for a bigger life, they miss the life already in their hands. To live fully, you must stop treating today like it is just another day. This day is not ordinary. This day is a part of your life that will never return. The people you speak to today will not be exactly the same forever. Your body will not be exactly the same forever. Your home, your routine, your feelings, and your world will continue changing. What seems normal now may become something you miss one day. Buddhism reminds us that impermanence is not only about losing things, it is also about appreciating things while they are here. When you understand that everything changes, you stop rushing past what deserves your attention. You drink your tea more slowly. You listen more carefully. You speak more gently. You sit with the people you love, and remember that this moment is not guaranteed to happen again in the same way. A person who is asleep in life keeps saying, "Nothing special happened today." But a person who is awake sees that many special things happened. They breathed. They saw the sky. They had another chance to be kind. They had another chance to learn. They had another chance to release anger. They had another chance to choose peace. They had another chance to live with more awareness than yesterday. The problem is not that life has no beauty. The problem is that the mind becomes blind when it is always chasing. When you are always chasing the next thing, the present moment feels empty. When you are always comparing your life to someone else's life, your own blessings feel small. When you are always thinking about what is missing, you cannot feel grateful for what is still here. This is why gratitude is such a powerful practice. Gratitude brings your attention back to the gifts already around you. It does not deny your problems. It does not pretend your pain is not real. It simply reminds you that even in a difficult life, there are still things worth noticing, protecting, and appreciating. You may not have everything you want, but you may still have something your past self prayed for. You may still have breath. You may still have a body that carries you. You may still have someone who cares. You may still have a chance to change. You may still have time to heal. You may still have wisdom growing inside you because of everything you have survived. To live fully, you must learn to see your life with softer eyes. Do not wait for the world to become perfect before you feel thankful. Do not wait for all your dreams to come true before you feel alive. Do not wait for loss to teach you that what you had was precious. Begin noticing now. Look at your hands. They have helped you work, create, hold, give, and survive. Look at your breath. It has stayed with you through your best days and your hardest nights. Look at your heart. It has been hurt, but it is still capable of love. Look at your life. It may not be perfect, but it is still a sacred chance to grow, to awaken, and to become more peaceful. Many people think living fully means doing something extraordinary every day. But Buddhism teaches that true fullness is found in awareness, not in constant excitement. You do not need to travel the whole world to live fully. You do not need to be seen by millions to live fully. You do not need to prove your value to everyone to live fully. You need to be present enough to feel the life you already have. A simple walk can become meaningful when you walk with awareness. A quiet meal can become meaningful when you eat with gratitude. A conversation can become meaningful when you listen with your full heart. A difficult day can become meaningful when you use it to practice patience. A lonely moment can become meaningful when you use it to return to yourself. This is how ordinary life becomes deep. Nothing outside may change, but your way of seeing changes. The same room feels different. The same morning feels different. The same breath feels different. You begin to understand that life was never empty. You were simply too distracted to meet it fully. When you stop treating life like something ordinary, you also become more careful with your time. You stop giving your best energy to useless arguments. You stop spending whole days lost in jealousy, gossip, bitterness, and comparison. You stop destroying your peace for things that will not matter in the end. You begin to ask, is this worthy of my life? Is this worthy of my breath? Is this worthy of the time I will never get back? This question can change your life. Before you react in anger, ask, is this worth my peace? Before you waste hours comparing yourself, ask, is this worth my life? Before you hold resentment for another year, ask, is this worth the space it takes in my heart? Before you delay your happiness again, ask, how many days will I keep postponing my own life? Life becomes precious when you remember that it is not endless. This does not mean you must live in fear. It means you live with respect. You respect your time. You respect your energy. You respect your body. You respect your heart. You respect the moments that are still being given to you. Buddhism teaches that awareness turns simple life into sacred life. When you are aware, even breathing becomes a reminder of impermanence. Even silence becomes a teacher. Even change becomes a message. Even pain becomes a doorway to wisdom. You do not need life to be dramatic to feel alive. You only need to be awake enough to notice what is already here. Many people are surrounded by blessings, but still feel poor inside because their mind is trained to see lack. They see what others have. They see what they do not have. They see what went wrong. They see what could go wrong, but they do not see the quiet gifts sitting in front of them. They do not see the love they still have. They do not see the strength they have gained. They do not see the chances life keeps offering. To live fully, train your mind to return to appreciation. When you wake up, do not immediately rush into worry. Take one moment and say, I am alive today. When you eat, do not eat like it is nothing. Remember that this food is supporting your life. When someone speaks kindly to you, do not ignore it. Receive it. When your body works for you, do not only criticize its shape or weakness. Thank it for carrying you through this world. This kind of awareness may look simple, but it changes the quality of your whole life. You become less bitter. You become less blind. You become less trapped in what is missing. You begin to feel a quiet richness inside. You begin to understand that peace is not always found by adding more. Sometimes peace is found by noticing more. Do not misunderstand this lesson. It does not mean you should stop dreaming, stop growing, or stop wanting a better life. It means you should not sacrifice the beauty of today for the hope of tomorrow. You can work for your future and still honor your present. You can have goals and still be grateful. You can improve your life without hating the life you have now. A person who lives fully does not wait for perfect conditions. They find meaning even in imperfect conditions. They do not wait for every problem to disappear before they breathe deeply. They do not wait for everyone to love them before they love themselves. They do not wait for life to become easy before they start living with awareness. The truth is, one day you may miss the life you are rushing through right now. You may miss the ordinary mornings. You may miss the voices of people you sometimes ignored. You may miss the body you complained about. You may miss the small home, the simple food, the quiet routine, and the days that felt normal. What feels ordinary today may become precious in memory tomorrow. So slow down, not forever, not in laziness, but slow down enough to see, slow down enough to breathe, slow down enough to feel your own life. Do not let your days pass like pages you never read. Do not let your relationships pass like songs you never listened to. Do not let your body carry you through years without ever receiving gratitude from you. To live before you die means to understand that life is not only in the big moments, life is in the small things you keep overlooking. It is in the morning light, the breath in your chest, the chance to begin again, the lesson inside pain, the love inside simple presence, and the peace that appears when your mind finally stops running. When you stop treating life like something ordinary, you become more alive without needing life to become more perfect. You see beauty where you once saw routine. You see blessings where you once saw nothing special. You see time as sacred, not something to waste. You see people as temporary gifts, not permanent possessions. You see yourself as someone who still has a chance to awaken. And this is one of the deepest Buddhist lessons. The life you are waiting for may already be here, hidden inside the life you are ignoring. The peace you are chasing may already be waiting in the breath you never notice. The meaning you seek may already be present in the ordinary moment you keep rushing past. Do not wait for life to become extraordinary before you appreciate it. Bring extraordinary awareness to the life you already have. That is how simple moments become beautiful. That is how ordinary days become meaningful. That is how you live fully before the final day arrives. 15. Become fully present with the life you still have. Many people lose their life while waiting for a different life. They are always thinking about where they should be, what they should have, who they should become, and what they still need to achieve. Their body is in the present, but their mind is always somewhere else. They are eating, but thinking about work. They are with family, but thinking about problems. They are resting, but thinking about tomorrow. They are alive, but they are not fully here. Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only place where life can truly be lived. Yesterday is already gone. Tomorrow has not arrived. The only moment you can touch, breathe, feel, change, and experience is this moment. If you are never present, then even a long life can feel empty because you are not really inside your own days. To live fully, you must stop abandoning the present moment. You must stop treating now like it is only a bridge to somewhere else. This moment is not useless. This breath is not small. This day is not just something to finish. This is your life happening in real time. Many people believe they will start living once everything becomes better. They say, "When I become successful, I will enjoy life. When I find the right person, I will feel complete. When I have more money, I will relax. When my problems end, I will be peaceful." But while they wait for life to become perfect, they miss the imperfect life that is already asking to be lived. Buddhism reminds us that peace is not found only at the end of the journey. Peace can be practiced while you are still walking. Joy can be felt while life is still unfinished. Gratitude can exist even when you are still growing. You do not need to have everything before you become present. You only need to open your eyes to what is already here. Look at how the mind works. It pulls you backward into regret and forward into fear. It says, "Why did that happen?" Then it says, "What if this happens?" It keeps moving between the past and future until the present moment becomes invisible. But your breath is not in the past. Your heartbeat is not in the future. Your body is here. Life is here. Peace begins when your awareness returns here. When you become present, simple things begin to feel deeper. A cup of tea is no longer just tea. It becomes warmth, stillness, and gratitude. A walk is no longer just movement. It becomes contact with the earth, breath in your chest, and space in your mind. A conversation is no longer just words. It becomes a chance to truly listen, to understand, and to connect. This is how Buddhism turns ordinary life into awakened life. It does not always ask you to change everything outside you. Sometimes it asks you to change how deeply you meet what is already here. The same morning can feel empty when your mind is lost, and sacred when your mind is awake. The same breath can feel unnoticed when you are distracted, and precious when you remember that it is not guaranteed. Many people think living fully means doing more travel, more excitement, more achievements, more experiences, more things to show others. But you can do many things and still feel empty if you are not present. You can visit beautiful places and miss them because your mind is busy. You can sit beside someone you love and miss them because your attention is somewhere else. You can achieve success and still feel unsatisfied because you never learned to be here. Living fully is not always about adding more to your life. Sometimes it is about bringing more awareness to the life you already have. It is about feeling what you are doing while you are doing it. It is about listening when someone speaks. It is about eating without rushing. It is about breathing before reacting. It is about noticing when the sun touches your room, when your heart feels heavy, when your body needs rest, and when your soul is asking for silence. To become present, you must begin with the breath. The breath is always here, quietly calling you back. When your mind runs too far, return to one breath. When worry becomes loud, return to one breath. When anger rises, return to one breath. When sadness covers your heart, return to one breath. The breath is simple, but it is powerful because it brings you back to life as it is happening now. This does not mean your problems disappear. Being present does not remove every difficulty, but it changes your relationship with difficulty. Instead of drowning in fear, you learn to face one moment at a time. Instead of carrying the whole future on your shoulders, you ask, what is needed right now? Instead of fighting reality, you breathe and meet it with more steadiness. A person who is present does not escape life. They enter life more deeply. They do not run from pain, but they also do not become lost in pain. They do not deny fear, but they do not let fear control every thought. They do not pretend everything is perfect, but they are still able to notice beauty, kindness, and meaning in the middle of imperfection. Many people are not tired because life is too hard. They are tired because their mind is never where their body is. They are carrying yesterday, tomorrow, other people's opinions, old mistakes, future fears, and imagined problems all at once. No heart can feel light when it is carrying so many worlds. To live fully, you must put down what is not here. If yesterday is gone, learn from it, but do not live inside it. If tomorrow is uncertain, prepare for it, but do not suffer from it before it arrives. If someone's opinion is not helping your peace, release it. If a thought is only repeating pain without teaching wisdom, do not keep feeding it. Presence is not laziness. It is not forgetting responsibility. It is not ignoring the future. It means you give your full attention to the step in front of you. You plan wisely, but you do not become a prisoner of worry. You remember the past, but you do not let it control your identity. You move forward, but you do not miss the life beneath your feet. Buddhism teaches the middle way. This means you do not have to run after every desire, and you do not have to reject life completely. You can live with balance. You can work, love, rest, grow, and dream while staying connected to the present moment. You can care about tomorrow without sacrificing today. When you are present, you become more careful with your words. You notice when anger is rising before it becomes harm. You notice when pride wants to speak before wisdom has a chance. You notice when someone needs kindness, not judgment. You notice when silence is better than another argument. This awareness protects your peace and protects the hearts around you. When you are present, you also become more honest with yourself. You notice when you are pretending to be fine. You notice when a habit is slowly destroying you. You notice when a relationship is draining your spirit. You notice when you are chasing something only because you feel empty. The present moment shows you the truth because you are finally quiet enough to see it. Many people fear silence because silence reveals what noise has been hiding. But if you want to live fully, you must make peace with quiet moments. Sit with yourself, let your mind settle, let your heart speak. Do not run immediately to distraction every time you feel uncomfortable. Sometimes your discomfort is not your enemy. Sometimes it is a message asking for your attention. If you feel lonely, be present with the loneliness. Ask what it is teaching you. Maybe it is teaching you to stop depending on the wrong people. Maybe it is teaching you to return to yourself. Maybe it is teaching you that your heart needs real connection, not endless distraction. If you feel afraid, be present with the fear. Do not immediately believe every story it tells. Ask whether the fear is protecting you or imprisoning you. Sometimes fear is a wise warning, but sometimes fear is only an old shadow trying to control a new moment. If you feel sad, be present with the sadness. Do not hate yourself for feeling deeply. Do not rush your healing only because the world tells you to move on. Breathe with your sadness. Hold it gently. Let it pass through you without becoming your whole identity. This is the beauty of presence. It teaches you to stop fighting yourself. You no longer need to push away every feeling. You no longer need to chase every pleasant experience. You begin to sit in the middle of life with more patience, more honesty, and more compassion. To be present with life also means to be present with people. Many people hear, but they do not listen. They reply, but they do not understand. They sit close to someone, but their attention is far away. Then one day, when that person is gone or distant, they regret the moments they did not truly receive. Do not wait until someone becomes a memory before you listen to them with love. When you are with someone, be with them. Put down the invisible noise in your mind. Look at them, hear them, appreciate them. Understand that their presence in your life is not guaranteed forever. The same is true for your own life. Do not wait until your body becomes weak before you appreciate it. Do not wait until your peace is gone before you protect it. Do not wait until your days are almost finished before you begin to live them carefully. Be present with the life you still have. A fully lived life is not perfect, but it is awake. It is a life where you were not always running away from now. It is a life where you tasted your food, felt your breath, heard the voices of people you loved, noticed the sky, learned from pain, and returned again and again to awareness. You may not be able to control how long you live, but you can control how deeply you meet this moment. You may not be able to stop change, but you can stop being absent from the life that is changing. You may not be able to remove every problem, but you can stop letting every problem steal your whole attention. To live before you die means to stop postponing your presence. It means you do not wait for a perfect future before you become awake. It means you do not let the past consume the only moment that is still alive. It means you realize that life is not somewhere else. Life is here. So come back to this breath, come back to this body, come back to this moment, come back to the people who are still here. Come back to the simple blessings you have ignored for too long. Come back to yourself. The present moment is not empty. It is full of life waiting for your attention. And when you finally return to it, you may realize that the peace you were chasing was never far away. It was hidden inside the moment you kept leaving. 16. Do not lose yourself. Trying to control everything. Many people suffer because they are trying to control everything in life. They want to control what happens, what people think, how others behave, how the future unfolds, how fast success comes, how long happiness stays, and how life should treat them. But the more they try to control everything, the more tired their heart becomes. Buddhism teaches that life is always changing. Nothing stays exactly the way you want it to stay. People change, plans change, feelings change, bodies change. Seasons change. Even the things you love most cannot be held forever in the same form. When you fight this truth, your mind becomes restless, but when you begin to accept it, your heart slowly becomes lighter. To live fully You must understand the difference between what is in your hands and what is not. Your actions are in your hands. Your words are in your hands. Your attitude is in your hands. Your effort is in your hands. Your kindness, patience, honesty, and awareness are in your hands. But other people's reactions are not fully in your hands. The past is not in your hands. The future is not fully in your hands. Life's timing is not fully in your hands. Many people destroy their peace because they keep trying to control what was never theirs to control. They keep replaying the past, wishing it happened differently. They keep worrying about the future, trying to solve problems that have not even arrived. They keep forcing people to understand them, love them, respect them, or change for them. And when life does not obey their expectations, they feel broken. But Buddhism reminds us that peace begins when we stop fighting reality. This does not mean you become careless. It does not mean you stop trying. It does not mean you let life pass without effort. It means you do your part with sincerity, and then you learn to release what is beyond your control. There is great wisdom in this. If you have done your best, let your heart rest. If you have spoken with honesty, let the result unfold. If you have loved with kindness, do not force someone to value it. If you have worked with discipline, do not let impatience poison your mind. If you have apologized, changed and grown, do not keep punishing yourself for who you used to be. Control often comes from fear. You want to control people because you fear being abandoned. You want to control the future because you fear pain. You want to control every outcome because you fear failure. You want to control how others see you because you fear rejection. But fear cannot create a peaceful life. Fear can only create a tight mind and a tired soul. To live fully, you must learn to loosen your grip. Not because life does not matter, but because life cannot be experienced deeply when your hands are always clenched. A closed hand cannot receive. A tight heart cannot breathe. A mind obsessed with control cannot feel the beauty of the present moment. Look at nature. The tree does not control the wind. It learns to bend. The river does not fight every stone. It flows around it. The sky does not hold the clouds forever. It allows them to come and go. Nature teaches the same wisdom that Buddhism teaches. Life becomes easier when you stop resisting every change. This does not mean you give up your dreams. It means you walk toward them without making your peace depend completely on the result. You can plant the seed, water it, protect it, and give it sunlight. But you cannot force the flower to bloom before its time. In the same way, you can work hard, learn, grow, and stay committed, but you cannot force every result to arrive exactly when your mind demands it. Many people lose joy because they are too attached to outcomes. They cannot enjoy the journey because they are only thinking about the destination. They cannot appreciate progress because they are obsessed with perfection. They cannot feel grateful for today because they are demanding a different tomorrow. This is how the desire for control steals the life they already have. Buddhism teaches the middle path. Do not become lazy and do not become obsessed. Do not surrender your responsibility and do not try to become the ruler of life. Walk with effort, but also with trust. Act with wisdom, but also with acceptance. Care deeply, but do not cling tightly. When you stop trying to control everything, you begin to feel the present moment again. You notice your breath. You notice the quiet around you. You notice that not everything needs your reaction. Not every problem needs to be solved today. Not every thought needs to be believed. Not every person needs to be convinced. Not every situation needs to go your way for you to remain peaceful. This is freedom. A person who tries to control everything lives in constant tension. Their mind is always calculating, predicting, fearing, and resisting. But a person who learns to let go lives with more space inside. They still make plans, but they do not worship plans. They still love people, but they do not try to own them. They still work hard, but they do not destroy themselves with impatience. Letting go of control also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are part of life, not the owner of life. You are walking through this world for a short time. You are learning, growing, loving, losing, changing, and becoming. You do not need to control everything to live meaningfully. You only need to meet each moment with awareness. Sometimes life will not give you what you wanted, but it may teach you what you needed. Sometimes a delay protects you. Sometimes a closed door redirects you. Sometimes a painful ending wakes you up. Sometimes losing control becomes the beginning of finding yourself. But you can only see this wisdom when your mind stops fighting every moment. Many people think surrender means weakness, but true surrender is strength. It takes strength to say, "I have done my part, and now I will stop torturing myself." It takes strength to say, "I cannot change the past, but I can change how I carry it." It takes strength to say, "I cannot control this person, but I can control whether I keep losing myself for them." It takes strength to say, "I do not know what tomorrow brings, but I will not let fear steal today." This kind of surrender is not giving up on life. It is giving up the illusion that peace comes from controlling life. Peace comes from learning how to stand calmly in the middle of change. To live before you die, stop wasting your precious energy trying to force everything to follow your plan. Life is not a machine. Life is a river. You can guide your direction, but you must also learn how to flow. You can choose your values, but you cannot choose every wave. You can choose your effort, but you cannot choose every result. So ask yourself, what am I trying to control that is destroying my peace? Am I trying to control someone's opinion? Am I trying to control a relationship that no longer feels healthy? Am I trying to control the future because I do not trust myself to handle it? Am I trying to control the past by replaying it again and again? These questions are powerful because they show you where your suffering is hiding. Often, the thing you are trying hardest to control is the thing that is controlling you. You think you are holding it, but it is holding your mind. You think you are protecting your peace, but you are slowly losing it. Release does not always happen in one moment. Sometimes letting go is a daily practice. Today, you release one thought. Tomorrow, you release one fear. Another day, you release one expectation. Slowly, your heart learns that it does not need to grip everything to be safe. When a difficult thought comes, breathe and say, "This is only a thought. I do not have to follow it." When fear of the future comes, breathe and say, "I will meet tomorrow when tomorrow comes." When regret comes, breathe and say, "I can learn from the past without living there." When someone does not understand you, breathe and say, "My peace does not depend on being understood by everyone." This is how you train the mind. This is how you return to yourself. You begin to see that control was never the same as peace. Control made you tight. Control made you afraid. Control made you impatient. Control made you angry when life did not obey. But acceptance gives you room to breathe. Acceptance gives you the courage to face reality. Acceptance helps you move with life instead of breaking yourself against it. A peaceful person is not someone whose life always goes according to plan. A peaceful person is someone who has learned not to lose themselves when plans change. They may feel disappointment, but they do not become disappointment. They may feel fear, but they do not let fear become their master. They may face uncertainty, but they do not abandon their inner wisdom. To live fully, let life breathe. Let people be who they are, and decide whether their presence belongs in your life. Let the past be a lesson, not a prison. Let the future be a mystery, not a punishment. Let your heart soften where it has been tight for too long. The more you release control, the more you return to trust. Not blind trust that everything will happen exactly as you want, but deep trust that you can meet life with wisdom. Trust that you can survive change. Trust that you can begin again. Trust that you can lose something and still find meaning. Trust that you can be disappointed and still remain whole. This trust makes life lighter. You do not need to know every answer today. You do not need to fix your whole future in one moment. You do not need to make everyone understand your heart. You do not need to carry the weight of every possibility. You only need to return to this breath, this step, this choice, this moment. Do your best. Speak truthfully. Love wisely. Work sincerely. Protect your peace. Then release the rest. This is not only a Buddhist lesson. This is a way to live without constantly fighting life. This is how your heart becomes less heavy. This is how your mind becomes more open. This is how your soul begins to breathe again. One day, when you look back, you may realize that many of the things you tried so hard to control were never worth your peace. You may realize that the arguments, the fears, the overthinking, the forced relationships, the need for approval, and the obsession with perfect outcomes took more life from you than the problems themselves. Do not wait until that day to understand. Understand now. Life is passing. Your energy is sacred. Your peace is precious. Your time is limited. Do not spend all of it trying to control every wave. Learn to sail. Learn to breathe. Learn to accept. Learn to let go. To live before you die means to stop holding life so tightly that you cannot feel it. Open your hands. Open your heart. Walk with effort, but also with surrender. Let life teach you. Let change shape you. Let uncertainty make you wiser, not weaker. When you stop trying to control everything, you do not lose your life. You finally begin to experience it. 17. Stop waiting for life to become easy before you become grateful. Many people delay gratitude because their life is not perfect yet. They say, "I will be thankful when my problems end. I will feel peaceful when I have more money. I will appreciate life when people treat me better. I will be happy when everything finally becomes easy." But Buddhism teaches us that if we wait for life to become perfect before we become grateful, we may spend our whole life blind to the blessings already around us. Gratitude is not only for the days when everything goes your way. Gratitude is also a practice for the difficult days, the uncertain days, the lonely days, and the days when your heart feels tired. This does not mean you pretend that pain is not real. It does not mean you force yourself to smile when you are suffering. It means you learn to see that even when life is difficult, life is not completely empty. There may be pain, but there is still breath. There may be struggle, but there is still a chance to grow. There may be loss, but there may also be lessons. There may be loneliness, but there is still space to return to yourself. There may be confusion, but there is still wisdom slowly forming inside you. Many people are so focused on what is missing that they cannot feel the value of what remains. They wake up thinking about what they do not have. They compare their life with others. They count their problems more than their blessings. They look at another person's success and feel poor inside, even when their own life is still carrying quiet gifts. Buddhism teaches us to look deeply. When you look deeply, you realize that nothing is small. The breath in your body is not small. The food that supports you is not small. The roof above your head is not small. The person who still cares about you is not small. The chance to begin again is not small. The fact that your heart has been wounded but still knows how to love is not small. To live fully, you must stop treating your blessings like they are ordinary just because you still have problems. A person can have many blessings and still feel miserable if their mind is trained to only see lack. Another person can have a simple life and still feel rich inside because they have learned to notice what is precious. Gratitude does not remove every difficulty, but it changes the way you carry difficulty. It gives your heart strength. It reminds you that your life is not only pain, it brings your attention back to the present moment. It helps you stop drowning in everything that is wrong and begin seeing what is still worthy of love, care, and appreciation. Many people think gratitude means saying, "Everything is fine." But true gratitude says, "Everything is not perfect, but I can still notice what is good." True gratitude says, "I am tired, but I am still breathing." True gratitude says, "I am tired, but I am still breathing. True gratitude says, life is difficult right now, but I still have a chance to choose wisdom. This is a powerful way to live, because the mind that only sees problems becomes heavy. The heart that only remembers pain becomes closed. The soul that only focuses on what is missing becomes restless. But when you practice gratitude, even gently, you create space inside yourself. You begin to breathe differently. You begin to see that your life is not as empty as your fear tells you. Buddhism teaches that suffering often grows from craving. Craving says, I need more before I can be peaceful. Craving says, this moment is not enough. Craving says, my life will only matter when I get what I want. But gratitude quietly says, this moment has something to teach me. This breath has value. This day is still a gift. This does not mean you should stop growing. It does not mean you should accept a life that harms you. It does not mean you should give up your dreams. Gratitude is not the enemy of ambition. Gratitude simply stops ambition from becoming suffering. You can work for more while still appreciating what you have. You can want a better future without hating your present. You can improve your life without treating today like it is worthless. A grateful person can still have goals, but they are not destroyed by the distance between where they are and where they want to be. They understand that the journey is also life. The small steps are also life. The quiet progress is also life. The days when nothing looks impressive are also life. If you only value the destination, you will miss the meaning hidden in the path. Many people suffer because they keep postponing joy. They say, not yet, not until I have achieved this, not until I become that, not until life looks the way I imagined. But the mind that always says not yet never arrives. Even when it gets what it wanted, it quickly creates another condition, another goal, another desire, another reason to delay peace. This is why Buddhism asks us to come back to now. Not because the future does not matter, but because the present is the only place where you can actually live. Gratitude brings you back to now. It helps you stop living in the imaginary world of one day and begin touching the life you still have. Look around your life gently. Maybe everything is not perfect. Maybe you are carrying stress. Maybe you have questions with no answers. Maybe you are healing from something you cannot explain to everyone. But still, there may be something here that deserves your attention. A breath, a lesson, a person, a chance, a small kindness, a quiet strength inside you that has not given up. Do not wait for everything to be taken away before you understand what you had. Many people only appreciate their health after they become sick. They only appreciate peace after they lose it. They only appreciate someone's presence after that person is gone. They only appreciate simple days after life becomes complicated. Do not let regret become the teacher that gratitude could have been. Practice noticing before losing. Practice thanking before missing. Practice loving before distance. Practice living before the final day. When you eat, pause for a moment and realize that this food is keeping you alive. When you walk, remember that your body is carrying you. When you speak to someone you love, remember that their presence is not permanent. When you wake up, do not rush so quickly into worry that you forget the miracle of opening your eyes again. This is not a small practice. This is awakening. Because an awakened person sees what a sleeping person ignores. A sleeping person says, it is just another day. An awakened person says, this day will never return. A sleeping person says, this is just a normal breath. An awakened person says, this breath is life. A sleeping person says, these people will always be here. An awakened person says, let me love them while I can. Gratitude makes you more present. It slows the mind. It softens the heart. It teaches you to receive life instead of only demanding from life. Without gratitude, even abundance feels poor. With gratitude, even simplicity becomes beautiful. Many people have more than they once prayed for, but they no longer notice it. The things they used to desire have become normal. The blessings they once begged for now feel ordinary. This is the habit of the restless mind. It gets something, enjoys it for a short time, and then starts searching for the next thing. Buddhism teaches us to break this pattern by looking deeply again and again. Do not let familiarity make you blind. Just because something is present every day does not mean it has no value. Just because someone loves you quietly does not mean their love is small. Just because your body works silently does not mean it does not deserve care. Just because peace feels simple does not mean it is not precious. A quiet life can be a beautiful life. A simple meal can be a sacred meal. A normal day can be a meaningful day. A small act of kindness can be a moment of deep humanity. But you must be awake enough to see it. To live fully, gratitude must become more than a word. It must become a way of seeing. When the mind complains, gratitude asks, "What is still here?" When the heart feels jealous, gratitude asks, "What has life already given me?" When fear says, "You do not have enough," gratitude says, "Look again with honest eyes." This does not mean you deny sadness. Sometimes you will cry and still be grateful. Sometimes you will feel lost and still notice a small light. Sometimes you will miss someone and still be thankful that you loved them. Sometimes you will face hardship and still honor the strength that hardship is building inside you. Gratitude and pain can exist together. This is important to understand. You do not have to wait until you feel completely happy to be grateful. You can be grateful while healing. You can be grateful while uncertain. You can be grateful while rebuilding. You can be grateful while carrying questions. This kind of gratitude is not shallow. It is mature. It is deep. It is brave. A person who practices gratitude does not become weak. They become stronger because they are no longer controlled by constant lack. They do not need life to be perfect to feel grounded. They do not need every desire to be fulfilled before they can breathe. They do not let one problem erase every blessing. Think about how much suffering comes from comparison. You look at someone else's life, and suddenly your own life feels small. You see their success and forget your own progress. You see their happiness and forget your own quiet blessings. You see their appearance, their money, their relationship, their position, and your heart begins to feel poor. But comparison is often blind. You see only a small part of another person's life, not the whole truth. You see the outside, not the inner battle. You see the result, not the cost. You see the smile, not the private suffering. When you compare your hidden struggles to someone else's visible highlights, you create unnecessary pain. Gratitude brings your attention back to your own path. It reminds you that your life is not meant to be a copy of someone else's life. Your lessons are yours. Your timing is yours. Your growth is yours. Your peace must be built inside your own heart, not borrowed from someone else's image. To live fully, stop measuring your life only by what others have. Measure it by how awake you are becoming. Measure it by how much peace you are protecting. Measure it by how kindly you are learning to speak. Measure it by how honestly you are living. Measure it by how much lighter your heart becomes as you let go of what does not matter. Gratitude also teaches contentment. Contentment does not mean you have no dreams. It means you are not at war with the present moment. It means you can say, "I am growing, but I am not worthless where I am." It means you can say, "I want better, but I can still appreciate today." It means your happiness is not completely held hostage by tomorrow. Many people never feel content because their desires are endless. They think one more achievement will complete them, one more person's approval will satisfy them, one more purchase will fill them, one more victory will finally make them enough. But the mind that is not trained in gratitude will turn every blessing into something ordinary and every desire into a new prison. This is why a person can have everything and still suffer. And this is why a person can have little and still radiate peace. The difference is not only outside, the difference is inside the mind. Buddhism teaches us to train the mind like we would train a garden. If you water jealousy, jealousy grows. If you water anger, anger grows. If you water desire, desire grows. If you water gratitude, gratitude grows. Whatever you keep feeding becomes stronger inside you. So every day, feed gratitude, feed awareness, feed peace, feed compassion. When your mind begins to complain, do not hate it. Simply guide it back. Say, yes, there are problems, but what is still good? What is still here? What can I appreciate without pretending life is perfect? This practice slowly changes your inner world. You become less controlled by small irritations. You become less trapped by envy. You become less hungry for constant validation. You begin to feel that life is not only something to chase, it is also something to receive. A grateful heart is also a kinder heart. When you know life is a gift, you become gentler with others. You understand that everyone is temporary. Everyone is carrying something. Everyone wants peace in their own way. You stop being careless with people's hearts, because you know moments do not last forever. Gratitude makes you less arrogant. It reminds you that not everything you have came only from your effort. Many things supported you, many people helped you, many chances protected you, many invisible conditions allowed your life to continue. Even your breath is not something you created, it is something you receive again and again. When you see this, humility enters the heart. You stop acting as if life owes you everything. You begin to bow inwardly to the mystery of being alive. You begin to see that existence itself is not ordinary. It is precious, fragile, and temporary. To live before you die, become grateful before it is too late. Do not wait until the last chapter of life to realize that simple moments were sacred. Do not wait until someone is gone to remember their kindness. Do not wait until your body weakens to thank it. Do not wait until your mind breaks under stress to protect your peace. Do not wait until your days are numbered to understand that every day was always numbered. Begin now. Take one breath with gratitude, not because your life is perfect, but because you are still here. Look at one blessing with clear eyes. Not because you have everything, but because you have not lost everything. Speak one kind word, not because the world is always gentle, but because your heart can choose gentleness. Gratitude is not something you practice once and then finish. It is something you return to, again and again. Some days it will feel easy. Some days it will feel difficult. Some days your pain will be loud, and gratitude will feel like a tiny candle. But even a tiny candle matters in darkness. Protect that candle. When life feels heavy, gratitude does not remove the mountain, but it gives you strength to take the next step. When your heart feels broken, gratitude does not erase the wound, but it reminds you that healing is still possible. When the future feels uncertain, gratitude does not give every answer, but it brings you back to the breath you can trust right now. And slowly, you begin to live differently. You stop waiting for a perfect life before you appreciate life. You stop needing everything to go your way before you feel blessed. You stop allowing one missing thing to blind you to 100 present gifts. This is what it means to live fully. It means you do not let imperfection steal your awareness. It means you do not let pain erase beauty. It means you do not let desire blind you to what is already sacred. It means you learn to hold life with both hands and say, even here, even now, there is something to be grateful for. A life without gratitude always feels unfinished. But a life with gratitude becomes rich, even while it is still growing. Your heart becomes softer. Your mind becomes calmer. Your days become more meaningful. You begin to understand that living fully is not only about reaching the life you want, it is also about honoring the life you have. So stop waiting for life to become easy before you become grateful. Be grateful while you are learning. Be grateful while you are healing. Be grateful while you are building. Be grateful while life is still imperfect, because this imperfect day is still part of your precious life. And one day, when you look back, you may realize that the ordinary moments you learned to appreciate were never ordinary at all. They were life itself, quietly asking you to notice before it passed away. 18. Leave no love unspoken and no kindness undone. Many people live as if the people around them will always be there. They assume there will always be another day to say sorry, another day to say thank you, another day to show love, another day to sit together, another day to repair what was broken. But Buddhism reminds us that life is uncertain, nothing is promised. The person you can speak to today may not always be close. The hand you can hold today may not always be there. The words you keep inside your heart may one day become the words you wish you had spoken. To live fully, you must not wait too long to show kindness. Do not keep love hidden because of pride. Do not delay forgiveness because of ego. Do not withhold appreciation because you think people already know. Many people do not know how much they mean to you until it is too late. Many relationships become painful, not because love was never there, but because love was never expressed clearly, gently, and on time. Buddhism teaches compassion because every living being is fragile. Everyone you meet is carrying something. Some people carry sadness behind a smile. Some people carry fear behind anger. Some people carry loneliness behind silence. Some people carry old wounds behind a strong face. When you understand this, your heart becomes softer. You stop seeing people only by their behavior, and you begin to see the suffering that may be hiding beneath it. This does not mean you allow people to harm you. Compassion is not weakness. Forgiveness is not permission for someone to hurt you again. Kindness does not mean you abandon your boundaries. You can be kind and still walk away. You can forgive and still keep distance. You can love someone and still choose peace. Buddhism does not teach blind attachment. It teaches a wise heart, a heart that is gentle but awake. Many people misunderstand kindness. They think kindness means always saying yes, always staying, always accepting disrespect, always giving until they are empty. But true kindness must also include kindness toward yourself. If you are kind to everyone but cruel to your own soul, your kindness is incomplete. If you forgive others but keep punishing yourself, your compassion is unfinished. If you help others breathe but suffocate your own heart, you are not living in balance. To live fully, practice kindness in both directions. Be kind to others, but also be kind to yourself. Speak gently to people, but also speak gently to your own mind. Forgive others when you are ready, but also forgive yourself for the mistakes you made while you were still learning. Help others when you can, but do not destroy yourself trying to save everyone. Life becomes lighter when kindness is guided by wisdom. A wise person does not give from emptiness, they give from awareness. They know when to stay and when to step back. They know when to speak and when to remain silent. They know when compassion is needed and when distance is necessary. This is mature love. This is peaceful love. Many people carry regret because they were too proud to speak when they had the chance. They wanted to apologize, but their ego said, wait. They wanted to say, I love you, but fear made them silent. They wanted to appreciate someone, but they assumed there would be time later. Then life changed, distance came, or the person was gone, and the heart became heavy with unsaid words. Do not let pride create regrets your heart will carry for years. If someone has been good to you, tell them. If someone helped you, thank them. If someone's presence made your life easier, let them know. If you love someone, show it through your actions, your patience, your attention, and your words. Love that is never expressed can become a silent sadness. Buddhism reminds us that words have energy. A harsh word can wound someone for a long time. A kind word can stay with someone like light in a dark room. You may forget what you said, but the person who needed those words may remember them for the rest of their life. This is why you must be careful with speech. Speak in a way that brings healing when possible. Speak truth, but do not use truth as a weapon. Speak clearly, but not cruelly. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this kind? Will these words create more peace or more pain? This does not mean you avoid difficult conversations. Sometimes love requires honesty. Sometimes peace requires truth. But even difficult truth can be spoken with awareness. You do not need to destroy someone's heart to express what is real. Many people think power is found in speaking the loudest. But Buddhism teaches that true power is found in speaking with awareness. Anyone can shout, anyone can insult, anyone can react from anger. But it takes wisdom to pause, breathe, and choose words that do not create unnecessary suffering. A peaceful person understands that every word is a seed. Some seeds grow into trust, some grow into pain, some grow into healing, some grow into distance. To live before you die, become careful about the seeds you plant in people's hearts. Do not be the reason someone feels smaller when they leave you. Do not use your tongue to spread poison. Do not let anger use your mouth. Do not allow one moment of irritation to destroy years of love. Pause before you wound. Breathe before you react. Remember that words spoken in anger may finish in seconds, but their pain can echo for years. At the same time, do not keep healing words locked inside you. Many people are starving for kindness. They may never tell you, but they need encouragement. They need appreciation. They need someone to remind them that they matter. A simple sentence can become a turning point for someone. I am proud of you. I am grateful for you. You are not alone. You helped me. I forgive you. I am sorry. These words may look small, but sometimes small words carry deep medicine. Buddhism teaches that compassion begins with seeing. When you truly see another person, you stop treating them like an object in your story. You realize they have fears, memories, wounds, hopes, and dreams just like you. They want happiness just like you. They fear pain just like you. They make mistakes just like you. They are temporary just like you. This understanding makes your heart humble. You stop judging so quickly. You stop assuming you know everything about someone's life. You stop reducing people to their worst moment. You begin to understand that every person is more than one mistake, one bad day, one wrong choice, or one painful reaction. But compassion does not mean you ignore harmful behavior. If someone is hurting you again and again, wisdom asks you to protect your peace. You can understand their pain without allowing their pain to become your prison. You can wish them healing without staying close to their chaos. You can release hatred without returning to a place that breaks you. This is important. Many people confuse compassion with self-abandonment. They keep saying, I understand them, while slowly losing themselves. They keep forgiving without boundaries. They keep giving chances to people who keep choosing harm. But Buddhism teaches awareness. Awareness means you see clearly. You see their suffering, but you also see your own suffering. You see their humanity, but you also honor your own. To live fully, love with an open heart, but do not live with blind eyes. Let kindness flow, but let wisdom guide it. Let forgiveness free you, but let boundaries protect you. Let compassion soften you, but do not let it erase you. There is also another kind of love many people forget. The love expressed through presence. Sometimes the greatest kindness is not advice. It is not a speech. It is not trying to fix everything. Sometimes the greatest kindness is sitting with someone and truly listening, not waiting for your turn to talk, not judging, not rushing, just listening with your whole heart. In a world full of noise, deep listening is a rare gift. Many people hear words, but they do not listen to pain. They hear a complaint, but they do not hear the loneliness behind it. They hear anger, but they do not hear the fear underneath. They hear silence, but they do not understand that silence is sometimes a cry for care. When you listen deeply, you allow someone to feel seen. And sometimes being seen is enough to help a person breathe again. This is compassion in action. It is simple, but it is powerful. To live fully, do not be present only after someone is gone. Be present while they are here. Do not wait until a funeral to speak beautiful words. Speak them while the person can hear you. Do not wait until distance teaches you the value of someone's presence. Value them while they are near. Do not wait until memories are all you have. Honor the moment while it is still alive. Many people treat strangers with politeness, but speak harshly to the people closest to them. They are patient outside, but impatient at home. They smile for the world, but bring anger to those who love them. This is one of the quiet tragedies of life. We often hurt the people who would miss us the most. We give our best face to the world and our worst reactions to the hearts that have stayed with us. Buddhism asks us to become aware of this. Do not take familiar love for granted. Just because someone is always there does not mean they do not need tenderness. Just because someone forgives you does not mean they do not feel pain. Just because someone stays quiet does not mean your words did not hurt them. The people closest to you are not permanent furniture in your life. They are living beings with hearts that can break. So be careful, be gentle, be awake. If you have been harsh, soften. If you have been distant, return. If you have been careless, become more mindful. If you have made mistakes, repair what you can. The purpose is not to live with guilt. The purpose is to live with awareness before regret teaches the lesson too late. Forgiveness is also part of living fully. Not every person deserves a place in your life, but your heart deserves freedom from endless bitterness. When you hold hatred for years, you keep drinking poison from the past. The other person may be far away, but their memory still controls your inner world. This is not freedom. Forgiveness does not always happen quickly. Sometimes the wound is deep. Sometimes the pain needs time. Buddhism does not ask you to force fake forgiveness. It asks you to understand that holding hatred forever will continue to burn you. Slowly, gently, when your heart is ready, begin releasing the grip of resentment. Not for them only, but for your own peace. You can say, "What happened was wrong, but I will not carry this poison forever." You can say, "I learned from this pain, but I will not let it define my whole life." You can say, "I may not return to this person, but I release the hatred that keeps me chained." This is not weakness. This is spiritual strength. And while you forgive others, remember to forgive yourself. Many people live with hidden shame. They keep punishing themselves for old mistakes. They replay things they said, choices they made, people they hurt, chances they missed, and versions of themselves they no longer are. They become cruel to their own heart. But Buddhism teaches that awareness creates change. If you truly see your mistake, learn from it. If you caused harm, repair what you can. If you were ignorant, become wiser. If you were unkind, become more compassionate. But do not spend your whole life hating yourself for a chapter where you did not yet know what you know now. Self-forgiveness does not mean avoiding responsibility. It means taking responsibility without turning your whole identity into shame. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to become better. You are allowed to transform. The person who made the mistake and the person who is aware of it are not standing in the same place anymore. To live fully, do not let guilt bury your future. Let it teach you. Let it humble you. Let it make you softer, more careful, and more awake. Then move forward with a cleaner heart. Kindness also includes the way you treat your own life. Do not speak to yourself like an enemy. Do not insult your body every time you look in the mirror. Do not call yourself worthless because you are still healing. Do not measure your value only by success, beauty, money, or approval. You are a living being, also deserving of compassion. When you suffer, place your hand over your heart and breathe. Say to yourself, "This is a difficult moment, but I will not abandon myself." This simple act can become powerful. Many people have learned to be harsh with themselves because they believe harshness creates strength. But constant self-hatred does not create peace. It creates inner war. A peaceful life begins when you stop being violent toward your own soul. You can improve without hating yourself. You can be disciplined without being cruel. You can accept your mistakes without becoming your mistakes. You can grow with patience, honesty, and love. Buddhism teaches loving kindness not only toward friends, but toward all beings. This does not mean you will feel close to everyone. It means you recognize that every being wants to be free from suffering. Even difficult people are often acting from pain, fear, ignorance, or craving. You do not have to approve of their actions, but understanding their suffering helps you release unnecessary hatred. This way of seeing life makes your heart less heavy. You begin to move through the world with more softness. You become less reactive. You take things less personally. When someone is rude, you may still protect yourself, but you do not have to let their rudeness poison your whole day. You understand that their behavior is often a reflection of their inner state, not the full truth of your worth. To leave no kindness undone does not mean you must fix the whole world. It means you bring more awareness to the small moments where kindness is possible. Hold the door, speak gently, listen patiently, thank sincerely, apologize honestly, help quietly, smile without needing something in return. These small actions may seem ordinary, but they create a different kind of life. A life of kindness is never wasted. Even if people forget your achievements, they may remember your warmth. Even if your name disappears one day, the kindness you gave may continue moving through other hearts. Someone you helped may help someone else. Someone you encouraged may find strength to continue. Someone you treated with compassion may remember that goodness still exists. This is how one heart can touch many lives without knowing it. Many people are obsessed with leaving behind a big legacy, but they forget the simple legacy of how they make people feel. Your legacy is not only what you build, it is also the peace you bring, the wounds you do not create, the love you express, the forgiveness you offer, and the kindness you practice when no one is watching. To live before you die, ask yourself, what kind of energy do I leave behind in people's hearts? Do people feel lighter after speaking with you, or heavier? Do they feel safe or judged? Do they feel respected or small? Do they feel seen or ignored? These questions are not meant to shame you. They are meant to awaken you. You still have time to become gentler. You still have time to repair. You still have time to love better. You still have time to stop repeating the patterns that caused pain. You still have time to become someone whose presence brings peace. But do not delay. Life is uncertain. The chance you have today may not always be here in the same way. Say what needs to be said. Do what needs to be done. Show love while you can. Make peace where possible. Release hatred where necessary. Give kindness without waiting for a perfect moment. There may come a day when you wish you had one more conversation, one more meal, one more walk, one more chance to say, I appreciate you. Do not live in such a way that your heart becomes full of these regrets. Live now with awareness. At the end of life, many things that once felt important will become small. The arguments, the pride, the ego, the need to win, the need to be right, the need to appear strong, the need to protect your image. All of it becomes small in front of death. What remains meaningful is love, kindness, peace, truth, and the way you lived with other hearts. Buddhism reminds us that everything is temporary. Because everything is temporary, love must not be delayed. Kindness must not be postponed. Forgiveness must not be carried to the grave like a stone. Appreciation must not stay hidden until it becomes grief. If you love someone, let your actions show it. If you are grateful, say it. If you made a mistake, admit it. If someone is suffering, be gentle. If you are suffering, be gentle with yourself. If a relationship cannot continue, end it with as much dignity as possible. If someone cannot be part of your life, still wish them freedom from suffering in your heart. This is how you live with a clean heart. Not a perfect heart, but a sincere heart. A heart that tries. a heart that learns, a heart that chooses kindness even after pain, a heart that does not want to leave behind unnecessary wounds. To live fully is not only to enjoy your own life, it is also to reduce suffering where you can. It is to become a peaceful presence in a painful world. It is to understand that your words, choices, and actions matter. Every moment gives you a chance, either to increase suffering or to bring a little relief. Choose relief. Choose compassion when judgment is not needed. Choose silence when anger wants to wound. Choose honesty when avoidance is creating pain. Choose forgiveness when hatred is keeping you chained. Choose boundaries when love without wisdom is destroying you. Choose kindness when life gives you the chance. One day, when your life is near its end, you will not regret being too kind with wisdom. You will not regret loving sincerely. You will not regret apologizing when your heart knew it was right. You will not regret giving comfort to someone who needed it. You will not regret becoming softer in a world that tried to make you hard. But you may regret the love you never expressed. You may regret the kindness you kept postponing. You may regret the apology you never gave. You may regret the harsh words you allowed your anger to speak. You may regret the years spent proving a point while losing peace. So awaken now. Let your heart become alive before it becomes regretful. Do not wait until life becomes fragile to act with tenderness. Life is already fragile. Every person you love is temporary. Every conversation is a gift. Every chance to be kind is sacred. Leave no love unspoken. Leave no kindness undone. Leave no apology trapped behind pride. Leave no gratitude hidden behind silence. Leave no compassion unused when your heart has the power to give it. This does not mean you will live perfectly. You will still make mistakes. You will still have moments of anger, fear, and impatience. But when awareness returns, return to kindness. When you fall, rise with humility. When you hurt someone, repair with sincerity. When you forget, remember again. That is the path. A full life is not measured only by how much you received, it is also measured by how much love moved through you, how much peace you created, how much suffering you reduced, how much honesty you practiced, how much compassion you allowed to guide your steps. To live before you die means to live with a heart that does not wait until the end to understand love. It means you become kind while there is still time. You speak while ears can still hear. You hold while hands can still feel. You forgive while the heart can still soften. You appreciate before memory becomes the only place someone lives. This moment is your chance. Someone needs your kindness. Someone needs your patience. Someone needs your forgiveness. Someone needs your honesty. And maybe that someone is also you. So begin here. Begin today. Let your life become a quiet blessing. Let your presence become softer. Let your words become cleaner. Let your heart become freer. Give love wisely, receive life gratefully, and walk through this world leaving less pain than you found. That is a life fully lived. 19. Choose peace before the world teaches you through exhaustion. Many people do not choose peace until they are completely tired. They keep fighting, chasing, proving, explaining, pleasing, worrying, and holding everything inside until their mind can no longer breathe. They wait until stress breaks their body. They wait until their heart becomes heavy. They wait until their soul feels empty. Only then do they begin to ask, why am I living like this? Buddhism teaches that peace should not be treated like the last option. Peace should not be something you choose only after pain has taken everything from you. Peace is not weakness. Peace is wisdom. Peace is the ability to see clearly what is worth your energy and what is slowly destroying your inner life. Many people think they are being strong because they keep carrying everything. They carry old anger. They carry family pressure. They carry other people's expectations. They carry the need to be perfect. They carry the fear of disappointing others. They carry the pain of the past and the anxiety of the future. From the outside, they may look strong, but inside they are exhausted. True strength is not carrying every burden until you collapse. True strength is knowing which burden was never yours to carry. True strength is having the courage to put down what is harming your peace. True strength is choosing silence instead of another useless argument. It is choosing distance instead of staying where your soul keeps getting wounded. It is choosing awareness instead of repeating the same painful patterns. Buddhism reminds us that suffering grows when the mind clings. We cling to control. We cling to being right. We cling to people who hurt us. We cling to identities that no longer fit. We cling to dreams that may no longer be our path. We cling to pain because it has become familiar, and because we cling, our heart becomes heavy. To choose peace, you must first notice what is taking peace away from you. Is it a person? Is it a habit? Is it your own overthinking? Is it comparison? Is it the need to be approved by everyone? Is it the fear of being alone? Is it the desire to control every outcome? Until you see the cause of your suffering clearly, you may keep blaming life while continuing the same behavior that hurts you. Many people say they want peace, but they keep feeding the things that disturb them. They want a calm mind, but they keep watching things that fill them with fear. They want self-respect, but they keep chasing people who make them feel unwanted. They want healing, but they keep returning to the same memories and reopening the same wounds. They want freedom, but they keep holding tightly to what has already broken them. Buddhism teaches that peace is not only something you feel, peace is something you practice. It is a daily decision. It is the decision to pause before reacting. It is the decision to breathe before speaking harshly. It is the decision to let go of thoughts that only repeat suffering. It is the decision to stop giving your life to things that do not deserve your life. Choosing peace does not mean life will become easy. It does not mean problems will disappear. It does not mean people will suddenly understand you. It means you stop giving every problem permission to control your whole being. You stop allowing every person's behavior to decide your inner state. You stop letting every fear become the ruler of your mind. A peaceful person still faces storms. The difference is that they no longer become the storm. They may feel anger, but they do not let anger drive every action. They may feel sadness, but they do not become hopeless. They may feel fear, but they do not build their whole life around fear. They have trained themselves to return to the breath, to awareness, and to what is real right now. To live fully, you must protect your peace before exhaustion becomes your teacher. Do not wait until your body is tired from stress. Do not wait until your mind becomes restless every night. Do not wait until your heart becomes numb. Do not wait until you lose yourself completely before you finally understand that peace matters. Look at your daily life. How many moments are you giving away to things that will not matter in the end? How many hours are being lost to unnecessary worry? How much energy is being spent trying to convince people who do not want to understand you? How much of your heart is still trapped in old conversations, old pain, old rejection, and old disappointment? Every moment you give to unnecessary suffering is a moment taken from the life you could be living. This does not mean you should ignore real problems. It means you should not turn every problem into a home for your mind. You can face difficulty without worshipping difficulty. You can solve what needs to be solved without suffering 100 times in imagination before the moment even arrives. The mind can become a place of peace or a place of endless war. If you do not train it, it will run everywhere. It will run to the past. It will run to the future. It will run to fear. It will run to desire. It will run to comparison. It will run to pain. Buddhism teaches mindfulness because mindfulness brings the mind back home. It says, come back. This moment is enough. This breath is real. This thought is not your master. When you choose peace, you begin to stop arguing with reality. If something has ended, you stop begging the past to return. If someone has shown you who they are, you stop creating a fantasy version of them in your mind. If a door has closed, you stop bleeding your heart against it. If life has changed, you begin learning how to change with it. This does not happen all at once. Letting go is often a slow practice. Sometimes you release something in the morning and pick it up again at night. Sometimes you understand the truth, but your heart still needs time to accept it. Sometimes peace comes in small pieces, a little less anger, a little less fear, a little less attachment, a little more breathing, a little more acceptance, a little more trust. Do not judge yourself for healing slowly. Peace is not forced. Peace is cultivated. Like a garden, it needs patience. You remove the weeds again and again. You water what is good again and again. You protect the space again and again. Slowly, the inner world begins to change. Many people are addicted to drama because silence feels unfamiliar. They are used to emotional storms, so peace feels strange. They are used to proving themselves, so rest feels like guilt. They are used to being needed, so boundaries feel selfish. They are used to chaos, so calm feels empty. But just because something is familiar does not mean it is healthy. To choose peace, you may have to leave behind the version of yourself that survived through chaos. You may have to stop confusing intensity with love. You may have to stop confusing busyness with purpose. You may have to stop confusing suffering with loyalty. You may have to stop confusing self-abandonment with kindness. Buddhism teaches the middle way. It does not ask you to become cold. It does not ask you to stop caring. It does not ask you to run from life. It asks you to live with balance. Care, but do not cling. Love, but do not lose yourself. Work, but do not destroy your body. Feel, but do not let every feeling become your identity. Help, but do not become empty trying to save everyone. Peace grows when you live with balance. If you only give and never receive, your heart becomes tired. If you only work and never rest, your body becomes weak. If you only think and never breathe, your mind becomes crowded. If you only chase and never appreciate, your soul becomes hungry. Balance brings you back to life. Many people are not suffering because they do not have enough. They are suffering because they are never here. They are always chasing the next thing, the next approval, the next success, the next relationship, the next escape. Their peace is always placed somewhere in the future. But Buddhism reminds us that peace can only be practiced now. You cannot breathe tomorrow's breath today. You cannot live next year's life today. You cannot find peace in a future moment while abandoning this one. The only place where peace begins is the present moment. This breath, this pause, this awareness, this choice. If your mind is loud, return to the breath. If your heart is angry, return to compassion. If your body is tired, return to rest. If your soul feels heavy, return to simplicity. Do not keep running away from yourself. Peace begins when you stop running and finally listen. Sometimes the most peaceful decision is not the easiest decision. It may be hard to walk away. It may be hard to set a boundary. It may be hard to stop explaining yourself. It may be hard to forgive. It may be hard to stop feeding a desire. It may be hard to let someone misunderstand you. But the difficult path is sometimes the path that saves your spirit. Choosing peace may disappoint people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. It may confuse people who only knew the version of you that always said yes. It may upset people who wanted access to your energy without respecting your soul. But a life lived only to keep others comfortable can become a prison. To live fully, you must stop sacrificing your inner peace just to avoid temporary discomfort. Sometimes peace requires a brave goodbye. Sometimes peace requires a quiet no. Sometimes peace requires silence when your ego wants to defend itself. Sometimes peace requires choosing yourself without making a loud announcement. Buddhism teaches that the self we defend so fiercely is often built from ego, fear, and attachment. We suffer because we need to be seen a certain way. We need to be praised. We need to be understood. We need to win every argument. We need to prove we are right. But the more we defend this fragile image, the more restless we become. Ask yourself, what am I protecting so much? Is it your peace or your pride? Is it your truth or your ego? Is it your dignity or your need to be seen as perfect? These questions can awaken you. Many battles become unnecessary when you realize they are only feeding the ego, not the soul. A peaceful life does not mean everyone agrees with you. It means you no longer need everyone to agree in order to feel stable. It means you can be misunderstood and still remain grounded. You can be criticized and still observe yourself honestly. You can be ignored and still know your worth. You can lose an argument and still keep your peace. This kind of peace is rare because it comes from within. Most people place their peace in other people's hands. If someone replies, they feel happy. If someone ignores them, they feel worthless. If someone praises them, they feel confident. If someone criticizes them, they fall apart. This is not freedom, this is emotional dependence. To choose peace, you must bring your power back. Your worth cannot depend on unstable opinions. Your inner life cannot be controlled by every reaction around you. People's thoughts will change. Their moods will change. Their behavior will change. If your peace depends on all of them, you will never rest. Buddhism teaches us to become rooted inside ourselves. Like a tree, you may feel the wind, but you do not become the wind. You may feel the weather of life, but you do not let every passing condition tear you from your roots. Your roots are awareness, compassion, wisdom, patience, and truth. When you are rooted, you stop reacting to everything. Not every comment deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your anger. Not every invitation deserves your yes. Not every fear deserves your obedience. Not every desire deserves your time. This is how peace becomes practical. It shows up in small choices every day. Choose peace when someone tries to pull you into useless conflict. Choose peace when your mind wants to compare your life with others. Choose peace when the past calls you back into pain. Choose peace when pride wants to speak harshly. Choose peace when you are tempted to abandon yourself for someone who does not value you. Peace is not passive. Peace is powerful. It is the quiet strength of someone who has decided that their life is too precious to spend in constant inner war. One day, the things that trouble you today may look very small. The argument, the delay, the rejection, the opinion, the mistake, the worry, the fear, the need to prove yourself. One day, you may wonder why you gave so much life to things that passed so quickly. This is why death awareness is so important in Buddhism. It helps you see clearly before it is too late. When you remember that life is temporary, you stop making every problem bigger than your whole life. You stop letting one bad day convince you that life is bad. You stop letting one person's behavior decide your value. You stop letting one closed door make you believe there is no path left. You begin to see with more spaciousness. Life is short, but the mind can make it feel heavy. Life is precious, but attachment can make it feel painful. Life is changing, but resistance can make every change feel like suffering. Peace comes when you stop adding unnecessary weight to what is already difficult. If someone leaves, grieve, but do not lose yourself. If something changes, adjust, but do not hate life. If you fail, learn, but do not call yourself worthless. If you are hurt, heal, but do not become cruel. If you are afraid, breathe, but do not surrender your life to fear. This is the path of peace. To live fully, do not wait until your last breath to realize that many things were not worth your suffering. Do not wait until your body is exhausted to stop living in stress. Do not wait until your relationships are broken to learn gentleness. Do not wait until your mind is overwhelmed to learn stillness. Do not wait until regret arrives to choose what truly matters. Choose peace now. Choose it in the way you speak. Choose it in the way you walk away. Choose it in the way you forgive. Choose it in the way you rest. Choose it in the way you stop feeding thoughts that only hurt you. Choose it in the way you protect your energy. Choose it in the way you remember that you do not have to carry the whole world inside your chest. There is a deep freedom in realizing that you can care without being consumed. You can love without clinging. You can work without worshipping success. You can help without losing yourself. You can feel pain without becoming pain. You can live in this world without letting the world own your soul. Buddhism does not promise that life will never hurt. It teaches that you can meet life with a mind that is awake. An awake mind sees suffering, but also sees the path out of suffering. It sees pain, but also sees compassion. It sees impermanence, but also sees beauty. It sees uncertainty, but also sees the preciousness of this breath. When you choose peace, your whole life changes from the inside. You stop rushing through every day as if life is only a race. You stop needing noise all the time. You stop chasing every desire that appears in the mind. You begin to enjoy simple things again. Silence feels healing. Slow moments feel sacred. Your own company feels less frightening. Your heart begins to trust stillness. A peaceful life may not impress everyone, but it will save you. It will save your mind from endless restlessness. It will save your heart from unnecessary bitterness. It will save your body from carrying constant tension. It will save your days from being wasted on things that do not deserve your life. In the end, a peaceful life is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Not a perfect life, not a life without pain, not a life where everything goes your way, but a life where you learn to return to yourself, a life where you did not allow every storm to destroy your inner home, a life where you chose wisdom over ego, awareness over reaction, and freedom over attachment. So before exhaustion becomes your teacher, listen to wisdom. Before your heart becomes too heavy, put something down. Before your mind becomes too loud, return to silence. Before your life passes in worry, return to this moment. You do not have to fight everything. You do not have to prove everything. You do not have to fix everything today. You do not have to be understood by everyone. You do not have to carry what was never yours. Breathe. This breath is peace calling you back. This moment is life asking you to stop running. This day is another chance to choose differently. Choose peace before the world teaches you through exhaustion. Choose peace before regret makes the lesson painful. Choose peace while you still have time to enjoy the life that peace will give back to you. Because to live before you die means to stop spending your life in war with yourself. It means to become calm enough to feel your own existence. It means to protect the quiet place inside you where wisdom, compassion, and freedom can grow. And when you choose peace, again and again, you do not escape life. You finally begin to live it fully. 20. Live truthfully before life becomes a regret. Many people live a life that does not truly belong to them. They wear a face for the world. They hide their pain so people will think they are strong. They hide their dreams because they fear judgment. They hide their opinions because they want approval. They stay in places where their soul feels small because they are afraid of disappointing others. Slowly, they become strangers to themselves. Buddhism teaches that suffering often begins when we live away from truth. When your words do not match your heart, your mind becomes divided. When your actions do not match your values, your soul becomes restless. When you keep pretending to be okay while your inner world is breaking, you create a quiet pain that no one else can see. To live fully, you must return to truth. Not harsh truth that wounds people for no reason, but honest truth that frees your heart from pretending. You must ask yourself, am I living the life that is true for me, or am I only performing a life that others approve of? This question can be uncomfortable, but it can also awaken you. Many people are not unhappy because life gave them nothing. They are unhappy because they abandoned themselves to be accepted. They said yes when their soul wanted to say no. They stayed silent when their heart needed to speak. They chose what looked good instead of what felt peaceful. They followed paths that impressed others, but slowly emptied their own spirit. This is a painful way to live. From the outside, everything may look fine. People may think you are successful, calm, helpful, strong, or happy. But inside, you may feel tired because you are constantly carrying a version of yourself that is not real. Pretending requires energy. Hiding requires energy. Living against your heart requires energy. This is why so many people feel exhausted, even when nothing obvious is happening. Buddhism invites us to look deeply and honestly. It asks us to remove illusion. One of the greatest illusions is believing that you can betray your own truth and still feel peaceful. You cannot keep ignoring your heart and expect your soul to feel light. You cannot keep living for other people's approval and expect to feel free. You cannot keep pretending forever without paying the price inside. To live before you die, you must become brave enough to be honest with yourself. What do you truly feel? What are you tired of pretending? What are you afraid to admit? What have you outgrown? What are you still holding only because you fear what people will say? What dream have you buried because someone made you feel foolish for wanting it? These questions are not meant to judge you. They are meant to bring you back to yourself. Sometimes the first step toward freedom is simply admitting the truth quietly in your own heart. You may not change everything in one day, but truth begins the path. You cannot heal a life you keep lying about. You cannot change a pattern you refuse to see. Many people wait until the end of life to become honest. When time becomes short, they suddenly understand what truly mattered. They realize they should have loved more openly. They should have worried less about opinions. They should have walked away sooner. They should have forgiven earlier. They should have followed the path their heart kept pointing toward, but by then, many years have already passed. Do not wait until life becomes a regret before you become truthful. Do not wait until your body becomes weak before you admit that your soul has been tired. Do not wait until people leave before you say what needed to be said. Do not wait until your dreams become impossible before you admit that you wanted them. Truth is easier to live when you choose it early, not when regret forces it upon you. Living truthfully does not mean living selfishly. It does not mean you ignore everyone else. It does not mean you speak without kindness or act without responsibility. It means you stop building your life on fear, approval, and pretending. It means you live with more alignment between your inner world and your outer actions. A truthful life is a peaceful life because you are no longer at war with yourself. You may still face problems. People may still misunderstand you. Some may not approve. Some may leave. But inside, you begin to feel lighter because you are no longer carrying the heavy burden of false living. Buddhism teaches the importance of right speech, right action, and right intention. These are not only spiritual ideas, they are practical ways to live without creating unnecessary suffering. Right speech means speaking with honesty and compassion. Right action means living in a way that does not harm yourself or others. Right intention means looking at the roots of your choices and asking whether they come from wisdom, fear, ego, greed, or love. When you begin to live truthfully, you start noticing your intentions. Before you say yes, you ask, am I saying yes from love or from fear? Before you stay in a relationship, you ask, am I staying because it is healthy or because I am afraid of being alone? Before you chase success, you ask, am I building something meaningful or am I trying to prove my worth? Before you hide your feelings, you ask, am I being patient or am I abandoning myself? These questions create awareness. Awareness creates choice. Choice creates freedom. Many people believe they have no choice, but often they are trapped by fear, not reality. Fear says, you cannot change. Fear says, people will judge you. Fear says, it is too late. Fear says, you will fail. Fear says, you must keep everyone happy. But Buddhism teaches that thoughts are not always truth. They are movements of the mind. You can observe them without obeying all of them. When fear speaks, do not immediately surrender. Pause, breathe, look deeply. Ask, is this fear protecting me, or is it imprisoning me? Some fears are wise warnings, but many fears are old chains. They come from past pain, old criticism, rejection, failure, or shame. If you obey every fear, your life becomes smaller and smaller. To live fully, you must stop allowing fear to write your story. You can feel fear and still be honest. You can feel fear and still take a step. You can feel fear and still choose a path that brings your soul back to life. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to stop betraying your truth because fear is present. Living truthfully also means accepting what you have outgrown. This is difficult because the mind becomes attached to identity. You may have been a certain kind of person for many years. You may have lived in a certain environment, followed a certain routine, carried certain beliefs, or stayed close to certain people. But life changes, and you change too. What once fit your soul may now feel too small. Buddhism teaches impermanence. You are not fixed. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. You are not even exactly the same person you were yesterday. Your mind, your understanding, your needs, and your awareness are always changing. To live truthfully, you must allow yourself to grow without guilt. Some people will try to keep you as the version of you that was easiest for them. They may say, you have changed, but change is not always betrayal. Sometimes change is healing. Sometimes change is maturity. Sometimes change is the soul finally refusing to keep living in a way that hurts it. Do not apologize for growing into a more peaceful, honest, and awake version of yourself. You can respect your past without staying trapped in it. You can love people from your old life without letting them control your future. You can honor what once mattered without pretending it still belongs to you. Living truthfully may require letting go. Letting go of roles you played for approval. Letting go of relationships built on fear. Letting go of habits that numb your pain but do not heal it. Letting go of dreams that were never really yours. Letting go of the need to be understood by everyone. This kind of letting go can feel painful at first. The mind may panic when old attachments begin to loosen. But not every loss is punishment. Sometimes losing what is false is how life makes room for what is real. Sometimes the ending of one identity becomes the birth of a truer self. To live before you die, ask yourself, what part of my life feels like truth, and what part feels like performance? Sit with this question. Do not rush. The answer may come quietly. It may show itself in your body. You may feel heaviness in one place and peace in another. You may feel tension when you think of one path and relief when you imagine another. Your body often knows the truth before your mind admits it. Many people ignore the body's wisdom. They feel stress, tightness, tiredness, headaches, sadness, and restlessness, but they keep saying, I am fine. Sometimes the body is not weak. Sometimes the body is speaking. It is saying, this life is too heavy. This relationship is not peaceful. This habit is harming you. This pace is not natural. This silence is costing you too much. Listen before the body has to scream. Listen before exhaustion becomes illness. Listen before sadness becomes numbness. Listen before the soul becomes so quiet that you forget what your own truth sounds like. A truthful life begins with small acts. You do not have to change everything loudly. You begin by telling yourself the truth. Then you begin choosing one honest action. You rest when you are tired instead of pretending you are unstoppable. You say no when your heart knows it cannot carry more. You admit when something hurts instead of acting unaffected. You ask for help instead of pretending you need no one. You choose what brings peace instead of what only brings applause. Small, truthful choices slowly rebuild the soul. Each time you choose truth, you teach yourself that you can trust your own heart. Each time you stop pretending, you create more space inside. Each time you act from awareness, instead of fear, you become more free. Many people are afraid truth will cost them love. But love that requires you to abandon yourself is not real peace. Acceptance that depends on your silence is not real safety. Belonging that demands your self-betrayal is not true belonging. If you must disappear inside yourself to keep someone close, then closeness has become a prison. This does not mean you must speak every truth to every person. Wisdom matters. Some truths are for your own heart first. Some truths must be spoken gently. Some truths require timing. Some truths require boundaries, not explanations. Buddhism teaches skillful action, not careless reaction. Truth should be guided by compassion, not anger alone. Before speaking a difficult truth, breathe. Ask yourself, am I speaking to heal, to clarify, and to be honest? Or am I speaking to punish, hurt, and release my anger onto someone? Truth mixed with hatred can become violence. Truth mixed with compassion can become medicine. Live truthfully, but live kindly. Be honest, but not cruel. Be clear, but not destructive. Be brave, but not reckless. This balance is wisdom. Truth also means seeing yourself without illusion. Many people only want to see the good in themselves and blame everyone else for their pain. Others only see their mistakes and hate themselves. Buddhism asks for clear seeing. Clear seeing means you acknowledge your goodness and your ignorance, your strength and your weakness, your compassion and your attachment, your wounds and the wounds you may have caused. This honesty is not meant to shame you. It is meant to awaken you. You cannot become free if you refuse to see where you are still bound. You cannot become peaceful if you refuse to see where you still create suffering. You cannot become wiser if you refuse to learn from your own patterns. Ask yourself, where am I still creating my own suffering? Maybe you keep returning to what hurts you. Maybe you keep expecting peace from people who only bring confusion. Maybe you keep feeding jealousy through comparison. Maybe you keep choosing temporary pleasure over long-term peace. Maybe you keep blaming life while refusing to change your habits. Seeing this clearly can be painful, but it is also powerful. Once you see, you can choose differently. Awareness is the first light. Without it, you repeat the same suffering and call it destiny. With it, you begin to understand the causes and conditions that shape your life. Buddhism teaches that everything has causes and conditions. Your suffering did not appear from nowhere. Your peace will not appear from nowhere either. If you water anger, anger grows. If you water fear, fear grows. If you water truth, truth grows. If you water mindfulness, peace grows. Your life becomes the garden of what you keep feeding. So feed truth, feed honesty, feed presence, feed compassion, feed courage. Stop feeding the false life that only survives through fear and approval. To live truthfully also means accepting that you will disappoint some people. This is one of the hardest lessons. Many people would rather disappoint themselves than disappoint others. They sacrifice their peace to keep everyone comfortable. They stay available to people who drain them. They agree to things that exhaust them. They hide their needs because they do not want to be called selfish. But a life spent avoiding everyone's disappointment can become a life of deep self-betrayal. You cannot live fully if your whole existence is built around not upsetting people. You must learn the difference between kindness and people-pleasing. Kindness comes from love. People-pleasing comes from fear. Kindness feels peaceful. People-pleasing feels heavy. Kindness respects both people. People-pleasing abandons one person, and that person is often you. Buddhism teaches compassion for all beings. You are also a being. Your suffering also matters. Your peace also matters. Your life also matters. Do not exclude yourself from your own compassion. When you live truthfully, you may begin to speak less, but with more meaning. You may begin to choose fewer relationships, but with more depth. You may begin to chase fewer things, but with more clarity. You may begin to live more simply, but with more peace. Truth removes what is unnecessary. It cuts through illusion. It shows you what is real. A truthful life is not always easy, but it is lighter. You no longer need to remember which mask you wore. You no longer need to keep performing happiness. You no longer need to prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. You no longer need to carry a life built from other people's expectations. You begin to live from inside out. This is where real peace begins. Not when everyone approves, not when everything is perfect, not when you never feel fear, but when your inner life and outer life begin to move closer together. When your words become cleaner, when your actions become more aligned, when your choices become less controlled by fear and more guided by wisdom. One day, you will reach the end of your life. On that day, you will not ask whether everyone approved of you. You will ask whether you truly lived. You will ask whether you loved honestly. You will ask whether you became the person your soul knew you could become. You will ask whether you spent your days awake or whether you spent them pretending. Do not wait for that day to ask these questions. Ask them now, while you still have time to change. Ask them now, while you can still speak, choose, forgive, begin, leave, return, heal, and grow. Ask them now, while your breath is still here. What truth is life asking you to face? What false life are you ready to release? What part of you has been waiting for permission to exist? What would change if you stopped living only to be accepted and began living to be awake? The answer may not come all at once, but even asking the question is a beginning. A sincere question can open a door. A moment of honesty can change a path. A small act of truth can begin the return to yourself. Do not be afraid of your truth. Be afraid of spending your whole life running from it. Do not be afraid of change. Be afraid of staying asleep until regret wakes you. Do not be afraid of disappointing people who need your false self. Be afraid of abandoning the real self that has been waiting quietly inside you. To live before you die means to live without hiding from your own soul. It means you stop treating your heart like an enemy. It means you listen to the quiet wisdom inside you. It means you stop delaying the life that feels honest, peaceful, and awake. Live truthfully, not perfectly. Speak honestly, not harshly. Choose wisely, not fearfully. Grow gently, not with hatred for who you were. Let your life become a reflection of what you truly value. When you live in truth, your life may become simpler, but it becomes deeper. You may lose some approval, but you gain yourself. You may walk a quieter path, but your heart walks with you. You may no longer impress everyone, but you begin to respect the person you are becoming, and that respect is peace. At the end, a truthful life is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It allows you to leave this world with fewer regrets. It allows you to say, I did not live only as a shadow of other people's expectations. I did not spend all my days pretending. I listened, I learned, I changed, I became more honest, I became more awake. That is what it means to live fully. It is not only to breathe, work, eat, and survive. It is to live with a heart that is not constantly hiding. It is to become real before life is over. It is to let truth guide you back to freedom. So begin today. Remove one mask. Speak one honest word. Make one choice that respects your soul. Release one false burden. Take one step toward the life that feels true. Life is passing. Do not spend it pretending to be someone you are not. Do not spend it performing peace while losing yourself inside. Do not spend it chasing approval while your real heart waits in silence. Live truthfully before life becomes a regret. Live honestly before time makes the lesson painful. Live awake before the final day arrives. Because the greatest tragedy is not only dying one day, the greatest tragedy is living your whole life without ever being fully real. 21. Stop carrying the past like it is still alive. Many people cannot live fully because their body is in today, but their heart is still trapped in yesterday. They wake up in a new morning, but their mind returns to old pain. They meet new people, but they carry old wounds. They receive new chances, but they keep remembering the chances they lost. They try to move forward, but inside they are still holding conversations, memories, regrets, and disappointments that are no longer happening. Buddhism teaches that suffering grows when we cling. Sometimes we cling to people. Sometimes we cling to desires. Sometimes we cling to identity. But one of the heaviest attachments is clinging to the past. The past is already gone, but the mind can keep it alive again and again. It can replay what happened. It can repeat what someone said. It can imagine what should have been done differently. It can build a prison from memories and call it truth. To live fully, you must understand that the past can teach you, but it should not own you. What happened may have shaped you, but it does not have to control every step you take now. The pain may have been real, but you do not have to keep reopening the wound every day. The mistake may have happened, but you do not have to keep punishing yourself forever. Many people carry the past because they think holding on gives them control. They keep replaying an old situation because they want to understand it completely. They keep thinking about someone who hurt them because they want justice in their mind. They keep remembering a mistake because they believe self-punishment will somehow repair it. But the truth is, replaying the past does not always heal the past. Sometimes it only makes the present suffer. Buddhism does not ask you to deny what happened. It does not ask you to pretend that pain was not painful. It does not ask you to forget important lessons. It asks you to see clearly. Seeing clearly means you recognize what happened, you understand what it taught you, and then you stop making it the center of your whole life. There is a difference between remembering and carrying. Remembering means you know what happened. Carrying means you let it control your peace. Remembering means you learned the lesson. Carrying means you keep living inside the wound. Remembering can bring wisdom. Carrying brings suffering. To live before you die, you must ask yourself, what part of my past am I still carrying, as if it is happening now? Maybe it is a rejection that made you question your worth. Maybe it is a betrayal that made you afraid to trust again. Maybe it is a failure that made you stop trying. Maybe it is a mistake that filled your heart with shame. Maybe it is a person who left, but their absence still controls your happiness. Whatever it is, look at it gently. Do not judge yourself for carrying pain. People hold on for many reasons. Sometimes they hold on because they loved deeply. Sometimes they hold on because they were hurt deeply. Sometimes they hold on because they never received an apology. Sometimes they hold on because they are still waiting for life to explain why something happened the way it did. But peace does not always come from getting every answer. Sometimes peace comes from accepting that some answers may never arrive and still choosing to live. Some people may never apologize. Some situations may never make sense. Some losses may always feel tender. Some chapters may never close in the perfect way your heart wanted. But you can still stop allowing them to steal the rest of your life. Buddhism teaches impermanence. Everything changes, even pain. But pain cannot change if you keep feeding it every day. A wound needs care, but it also needs space to heal. If you keep touching it, opening it, and identifying with it, healing becomes difficult. In the same way, the mind needs space from old suffering. It needs silence. It needs compassion. It needs the courage to release. Many people say, I cannot let go, but often what they mean is, I do not know who I will be without this pain. Pain can become familiar. Sadness can become familiar. Anger can become familiar. The story of what happened can become part of your identity. You may begin to see yourself only as the person who was hurt, the person who was betrayed, the person who failed, the person who lost, the person who was rejected. But you are more than what happened to you. You are more than one painful chapter. You are more than someone's inability to love you properly. You are more than the worst decision you made. You are more than the day life broke your heart. You are still a living being, still breathing, still learning, still capable of peace, still capable of new beginnings. To carry the past forever is to treat one chapter like the whole book. But your life is still being written. The page in front of you matters too. This moment matters too. The person you are becoming matters too. Buddhism teaches us to return to the present moment because the present is where freedom begins. You cannot change yesterday. You cannot undo what has already happened. But you can meet this breath with awareness. You can choose a wiser action today. You can speak more gently today. You can rest today. You can forgive today. You can begin again today. The past may explain why you are afraid, but it does not have to decide whether you remain afraid. The past may explain why you are guarded, but it does not have to decide whether your heart stays closed forever. The past may explain your pain, but it does not have to become your final identity. Many people wait for the past to stop hurting before they begin living again. They say, "When I feel completely healed, then I will start over. When I no longer remember, then I will move forward. When the pain disappears, then I will be happy." But healing does not always happen before life begins again. Sometimes healing happens because you begin again. You begin with small steps. You take care of your body. You clean your space. You breathe deeply. You stop replaying the same painful thought for the 100th time. You choose not to check on someone who only reopens your wound. You stop telling yourself the same story in the same painful way. You allow one peaceful moment to exist without feeling guilty. At first, letting go may feel strange. The mind may return to the past again and again. This does not mean you failed. It means the mind is used to walking an old path. Be patient. Every time you notice the mind going back, gently return it to now. Say, "That was then, this is now. I can learn from it, but I do not have to live there." This simple sentence can become powerful. That was then, this is now. The past happened, but it is not happening in this moment. The person hurt you, but they are not standing in front of you right now. The failure happened, but it is not the only truth about your life. The loss happened, but this breath is still here. This day is still here. You are still here. Buddhism teaches that thoughts are not always reality. A memory can feel real because the body reacts to it. Your chest becomes tight. Your eyes become heavy. Your mind becomes restless. But remember, a memory is an image arising in the mind. It is not the present moment itself. You can observe it. You can breathe through it. You can let it pass like a cloud moving through the sky. You do not have to fight every memory. Fighting sometimes gives it more power. Instead, see it clearly. This is a memory. This is pain arising. This is regret arising. This is fear arising. When you name it with awareness, you create distance. You stop becoming completely lost inside it. This is the practice of mindfulness. You observe without drowning. You feel without becoming the feeling. You remember without becoming trapped in the memory. You allow the mind to show you what is there, but you do not let every thought become your master. To live fully, you must also release the past version of yourself. Many people are not only attached to what happened, they are attached to who they used to be. They keep saying, "I used to be stronger. I used to be happier. I used to be more confident. I used to have this person. I used to have that life." But life moves. The person you were before cannot return in the same exact way. And that does not mean your future has no beauty. Sometimes the goal is not to become who you were before pain. Sometimes the goal is to become someone wiser after pain, someone softer, deeper, more aware, more compassionate, and more honest. Pain may take something from you, but awareness can help you create something new from what remains. Do not spend your whole life worshipping the old version of yourself. Honor that version. Thank that version. Grieve what changed if you need to, but do not forget that the version of you who is here now also deserves love. This version has survived. This version is still trying. This version is still worthy of peace. Many people also carry regret. They think about what they should have done, what they should have said, what they should have avoided, and who they should have been. Regret can teach you, but if you keep feeding it, it becomes a cruel teacher. It does not guide you, it punishes you. If you made a mistake, learn from it. If you hurt someone, repair what you can. If you missed a chance, understand why. If you were blind before, become more aware now. This is the wise use of regret. But do not keep beating your heart with a past you cannot rewrite. The purpose of regret is not to destroy you. The purpose is to awaken you. Buddhism teaches that every moment is a chance to begin again. This does not mean the past disappears. It means the present is not closed. You can choose differently now. You can become kinder now. You can become more disciplined now. You can become more peaceful now. You can stop repeating the same pattern now. A person who uses the past wisely becomes mature. A person who clings to the past painfully becomes trapped. The difference is awareness. To live fully, you must stop asking the past to give you a life it can no longer give. The past cannot return your lost years. It cannot force someone to love you differently. It cannot undo your mistakes. It cannot make every wound disappear overnight. But the present can give you one step, one breath, one choice, one act of courage, one moment of peace, and one step matters. Do not underestimate small beginnings. A person does not leave the prison of the past in one giant movement. Often, they leave through small acts of freedom. One day without feeding the same anger. One moment of choosing rest. One honest conversation. One boundary. One prayer of forgiveness. One breath where they remember, I am still alive. Many people carry the past because they have not allowed themselves to grieve. They try to move on quickly. They say, it does not matter. They act strong. They distract themselves. But what is not felt often returns in other ways. It becomes anger. It becomes anxiety. It becomes numbness. It becomes fear of love. It becomes restlessness. Buddhism does not teach you to become numb. It teaches you to become awake. If something hurt you, let yourself feel it with compassion. Cry if you need to. Sit with the sadness. Write what your heart cannot say. Speak to someone wise. Let the grief move through you. Feeling pain with awareness is different from living inside pain without awareness. Grief is not weakness. It is the heart acknowledging that something mattered. But grief must be allowed to move. When you hold it too tightly, it becomes suffering. When you meet it gently, it becomes part of healing. Some past chapters require forgiveness. Not always reconciliation, but forgiveness as inner release. Forgiveness means you stop letting the past person or event control your heart forever. It means you release the wish to keep burning yourself with what happened. It means you choose freedom over repeated inner punishment. Forgiveness may take time. Do not force it before your heart is ready. But also do not worship resentment as if it protects you. Resentment may feel strong, but it often keeps you chained to the person or event you want to escape. The more you hate, the more they live in your mind. The more you replay, the more your peace remains connected to them. A wise heart says, I will remember the lesson, but I will release the poison. This is freedom. You do not need to return. You do not need to trust blindly. You do not need to pretend everything was okay. You only need to stop giving the past the power to rule your inner world. Sometimes you also need to forgive yourself for staying too long, trusting too much, speaking too harshly, being unaware, missing signs, making choices from fear or not knowing better. Self-forgiveness is not avoiding responsibility. It is taking responsibility with compassion. It is saying, I see what happened. I will learn. I will change. But I will not hate myself forever. Many people cannot live fully because they are loyal to old pain. They feel that moving on means what happened did not matter. But moving on does not erase the meaning of what happened. It simply means you refuse to let pain be the only thing that remains. You can honor the past without being imprisoned by it. You can remember love without refusing new life. You can carry wisdom without carrying suffering. This is one of the deepest forms of maturity. To live before you die, you must learn to travel light. You cannot carry every insult, every rejection, every mistake, every disappointment, and every loss forever. Your life is too precious. Your breath is too sacred. Your heart needs space for new peace, new love, new wisdom, and new beginnings. Imagine trying to walk a long road while holding heavy stones in both hands. At first, you may manage, but after a while, your body becomes tired, your steps become slow, your eyes look only at the weight you carry. You stop noticing the sky, the trees, the people, the path, and the beauty around you. This is what old pain does to the soul. Letting go is putting down the stones, not because they were not real, not because they were not heavy, but because you were not meant to carry them forever. Ask yourself, what stone am I ready to put down? Maybe it is the stone of anger, maybe the stone of regret, maybe the stone of shame, maybe the stone of someone's opinion, maybe the stone of an old identity, maybe the stone of a memory you keep using to prove that you cannot be happy again. Put one stone down, then breathe, then put another down when you are ready. This is healing. This is the path. Buddhism teaches that everything is passing. Your pain is passing too, if you let it. Your sadness is passing. Your fear is passing. Your anger is passing. Your identity is passing. The person you were in that painful moment is passing. You do not have to freeze yourself in the worst day of your life. Life is still moving. The sun still rises. The breath still comes. The heart still has the ability to soften. The mind still has the ability to awaken. Your story is not finished. When you stop carrying the past like it is still alive, you begin to see the present again. You notice small blessings. You hear kind words more clearly. You feel your own breath more deeply. You become available to life again. You stop comparing every new moment to an old wound. You stop making innocent people pay for what someone else did. You stop treating your future as if it must repeat your past. This is how freedom begins. A person who has released the past does not become empty. They become spacious. They still have memories, but the memories no longer rule them. They still have scars, but the scars no longer define them. They still have lessons, but the lessons now guide them instead of imprisoning them. To live fully, let the past become a teacher, not a home. Visit it only for wisdom, not for suffering. Take the lesson, but do not sleep in the wound. Honor what was, but do not abandon what is. Your life is not behind you. Your life is here, in this breath, in this moment, in the choices you still have. One day, you will reach the end of your life. When that day comes, you will not want to realize that you spent decades living inside memories that were already gone. You will not want to see that the past took not only what happened then, but also the peace, love, and beauty that could have been lived afterward. Do not give the past that much power. Wake up now. Return now. Release now. Slowly and gently. Let your heart understand that what happened is part of your story, but it is not the whole story. Let your soul know that it is safe to begin again. Let your mind stop replaying what cannot be changed and start noticing what can still be lived. You are still here. That means life is still inviting you. Do not carry yesterday into every tomorrow. Do not let old pain decide the shape of your future. Do not let regret steal the breath in your chest right now. Put down what is gone. Hold what is real. Walk forward with wisdom. To live before you die means to stop giving your present life to a past that has already passed. It means you take the lesson, bless the wound with awareness, and step back into the only place where life can truly be lived. Here, now, this breath, this moment, this chance. The past has taught you enough. Let the present finally hold you. 22. Stop needing the world to approve your life. Many people do not live fully because they spend their life waiting for permission. They wait for people to approve their choices. They wait for people to understand their dreams. They wait for people to praise their efforts. They wait for people to tell them they are good enough, wise enough, beautiful enough, strong enough, or worthy enough. But while they are waiting for the world to approve them, life quietly passes by. Buddhism teaches that suffering grows when the mind becomes attached. One of the deepest attachments is the attachment to approval. You want people to like you. You want people to agree with you. You want people to see your value. You want people to understand your heart. This is natural, but when your peace depends on approval, you become a prisoner of other people's opinions. To live fully, you must understand this clearly. Not everyone will understand your path, and that does not mean your path is wrong. Not everyone will support your growth, and that does not mean you should stop growing. Not everyone will see your worth, and that does not mean your worth has disappeared. People see life through their own mind, their own wounds, their own fears, and their own limits. Their opinion is not always truth. Many people are afraid to live honestly because they fear judgment. They ask themselves, what will people say? What will they think? Will they laugh at me? Will they reject me? Will they misunderstand me? Because of these fears, they silence their own soul. They keep their dreams small. They hide their real feelings. They stay in situations that hurt them. They choose a life that looks acceptable to others, but feels empty inside. This is one of the saddest ways to waste a life. You are born with your own breath, your own mind, your own heart, and your own journey, but you spend your years trying to become a shape that other people will approve of. You become careful with every word. You become afraid of every step. You become more loyal to their comfort than to your own truth. Buddhism teaches us to look deeply at the self we are trying to protect. The ego wants praise. The ego wants status. The ego wants to be seen as special, successful, admired, and important. But the more you feed the ego, the more hungry it becomes. Praise may satisfy it for a moment, but soon it wants more praise. Approval may comfort it for a moment, but soon it fears losing approval again. This is why approval can never become a stable foundation for peace. It changes too quickly. Today people may praise you. Tomorrow they may criticize you. Today someone may understand you. Tomorrow they may misunderstand you. Today they may be close. Tomorrow they may become distant. If your whole inner world depends on their reaction, your peace will rise and fall like a leaf in the wind. A peaceful life cannot be built on unstable opinions. It must be built on awareness, wisdom, compassion, and truth. You must learn to ask yourself, is this choice aligned with my values? Is this action coming from wisdom or fear? Am I living with honesty? Am I reducing suffering or creating more of it? Am I respecting my soul, or am I abandoning it for applause? These questions are deeper than, will people like this? Because people may like what is false and reject what is true. People may praise what harms your soul and criticize what saves your peace. If you live only by approval, you may become successful in the eyes of others and still feel lost in your own heart. To live fully, you must become strong enough to walk without constant applause. You must learn to continue even when no one claps. You must learn to choose peace even when people call it weakness. You must learn to set boundaries even when people call you selfish. You must learn to grow even when people say you have changed. You must learn to listen to your inner wisdom even when the crowd is loud. This does not mean you become arrogant. It does not mean you reject every advice. It does not mean you stop learning from others. Buddhism does not teach pride. It teaches clear seeing. Clear seeing means you listen with humility, but you do not hand your whole life to every opinion. You receive wisdom where it is real, but you do not become a slave to judgment. There is a difference between guidance and control. Wise guidance helps you become more aware, more peaceful, more responsible, and more compassionate. Control makes you afraid to be yourself. Wise guidance respects your humanity. Control uses guilt, shame, fear, or pressure to keep you small. Learn the difference. Many people suffer because they give too much power to people who are not living their life. Someone comments from a distance, and your whole mood changes. Someone criticizes your dream, and you begin to doubt your path. Someone ignores your effort, and you feel worthless. But ask yourself, will these people carry the regret for you if you waste your life? Will they give you back your years if you abandon your dreams? Will they live inside your heart when you are old and wondering why you never became brave? The answer is no. Other people may speak, judge, laugh, praise, or criticize, but you are the one who must live with the consequences of your choices. You are the one who must sleep with your own heart. You are the one who must look back one day and ask whether you truly lived. This is why you must stop needing the world to approve your life. You must become more committed to truth than to image, more committed to peace than to popularity, more committed to wisdom than to applause, more committed to living fully than to being accepted by everyone. Buddhism reminds us that everything is impermanent, including reputation. The people you are trying so hard to impress are also changing. Their opinions are changing. Their attention is changing. Their lives are changing. Some of them will forget what they said about you. Some of them will move on. Some of them will not even remember the judgment that kept you awake at night. But you may carry the effect of that judgment for years if you allow it. Do not let a temporary opinion create a permanent prison. Do not let someone's passing comment decide the shape of your whole life. Do not let the fear of being misunderstood keep you from becoming who you are meant to become. To live fully, you must accept that being misunderstood is sometimes part of the path. Even when your intention is good, someone may misunderstand you. Even when your heart is sincere, someone may judge you. Even when you are trying to grow, someone may say you are wrong. This is life. You cannot control every interpretation. You cannot enter every mind and explain yourself until everyone sees you clearly. Sometimes silence is peace. Sometimes not explaining is freedom. Sometimes letting people think what they want is the most powerful thing you can do for your own soul. Not every false opinion deserves your energy. Not every accusation deserves your defense. Not every misunderstanding needs to become a battlefield. A wise person does not waste their whole life trying to clean their image in every mind. They know their own intention. They reflect honestly. If they made a mistake, they correct it. If they caused harm, they repair it. But if someone is committed to misunderstanding them, they do not spend their entire life begging to be seen. This is not coldness. This is wisdom. You cannot live fully if you are constantly running after every person's approval. Your life becomes scattered. Your energy becomes drained. Your mind becomes restless. You begin to ask the world, "Who should I be today?" And slowly, you forget how to hear your own heart. The need for approval often begins early in life. Maybe you were praised only when you were useful. Maybe you were loved only when you performed well. Maybe you were criticized when you expressed your real feelings. Maybe you learned that being accepted was safer than being honest. So you became careful. You learned to please. You learned to hide. You learned to become what others wanted. But Buddhism teaches that awareness can break old patterns. Just because you learned to live for approval does not mean you must die that way. You can wake up. You can see the pattern. You can begin choosing differently. You can slowly return to your true self. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. When you stop pleasing everyone, guilt may arise. When you say no, fear may arise. When you choose your own path, doubt may arise. This does not mean you are wrong. It means your mind is learning a new way. The old habit of approval seeking is losing control, and old habits do not disappear without resistance. Be patient with yourself. Freedom may feel strange when you have lived too long in a cage. Peace may feel unfamiliar when you have spent years proving yourself. Self-respect may feel selfish when you have been trained to abandon yourself, but with awareness, the heart learns a new truth. I can be kind without being controlled. I can be loving without being approved by everyone. I can listen to others without losing myself. To live fully, you must stop confusing acceptance with worth. If someone accepts you, your worth does not increase. If someone rejects you, your worth does not disappear. Your value is not created by someone's mood. Your dignity is not destroyed by someone's opinion. Your life has meaning even when no one is watching, praising, or clapping. This is difficult for the ego to understand because the ego wants proof from outside. But the awakened heart begins to know something deeper. You are not here only to be admired. You are here to awaken, to grow, to love, to learn, to become free from suffering, and to live with wisdom. If approval comes, receive it humbly. If criticism comes, examine it honestly. But do not build your identity on either one. Praise can be dangerous if you become attached to it. Criticism can be useful if you learn from it. Both are passing sounds. Do not let either one own your mind. Buddhism teaches balance. Do not become inflated by praise. Do not become destroyed by blame. Stay awake. Stay humble. Stay rooted. A person who is rooted in awareness can hear praise and say, "Thank you," without becoming addicted. They can hear criticism and ask, "Is there truth here?" without falling apart. They do not reject all feedback, but they also do not surrender their soul to every voice. They remain centered. This is a powerful way to live because it gives you inner freedom. You are no longer pulled in every direction by approval and rejection. You do not need to perform constantly. You do not need to hide constantly. You can breathe. You can choose. You can live more simply, more honestly, and more peacefully. Many people never discover who they truly are because they spend their life asking others what they should become. They ask society. They ask friends. They ask family. They ask strangers. They ask trends. They ask social media. They ask everyone except their own awakened mind. Then they wonder why they feel empty. The world can give you noise, but wisdom requires silence. If you want to live fully, you must create quiet space where you can hear your own life. Sit alone sometimes. Breathe. Ask yourself what feels true. Ask what brings peace, not just attention. Ask what kind of life you would choose if you were not afraid of judgment. Ask what you are pretending not to know. These quiet questions can change your direction. They can reveal where you are betraying yourself. They can show you which relationships are based on fear. They can show you which dreams are truly yours and which ones you borrowed from other people's expectations. They can show you where approval has replaced authenticity. Living authentically does not mean you always feel confident. Sometimes you will tremble. Sometimes you will doubt. Sometimes you will walk with fear beside you. But each truthful step makes you stronger. Each time you choose awareness over approval, your soul becomes more free. To live before you die, you must ask yourself, whose approval am I still waiting for? Maybe you are waiting for a parent to finally understand you. Maybe you are waiting for a friend to respect your path. Maybe you are waiting for society to say your dream is acceptable. Maybe you are waiting for someone who rejected you to admit your worth. Maybe you are waiting for people who never saw you clearly to finally see you. But how long will you wait? How many years will you give away? How many dreams will you bury? How much peace will you sacrifice? How many times will you delay your life because someone else has not given you permission? There comes a moment when you must gently say, I cannot keep waiting. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You can love people and still stop waiting for them to approve your becoming. You can respect people and still choose your own path. You can listen to advice and still make the final decision from your own awareness. This is maturity. This is freedom. Buddhism teaches that attachment brings suffering, and approval is a subtle attachment. It looks harmless because everyone wants to be liked. But when approval becomes your master, It steals your courage. It makes you afraid to speak truth. It makes you afraid to rest. It makes you afraid to change. It makes you afraid to be different. It makes you afraid to live. And a life ruled by fear of judgment is not a fully lived life. It is a life performed. You were not born only to perform. You were born to experience life directly, to breathe, to feel, to learn, to love, to awaken, to make mistakes and grow, to discover your path, to understand suffering and become more compassionate, to let go of false things and return to what is real. The world may never fully approve this journey. That is okay. The world is full of restless minds. Some people will judge what they do not understand. Some will criticize what they are afraid to do themselves. Some will reject your change because your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. Some will misunderstand because they only know the old version of you. Let them. Let people misunderstand if they must. Let people have opinions. Let people speak. Let people think what they think. Your work is not to control every mind. Your work is to live with awareness, compassion, honesty, and peace. This does not mean you become careless about your impact. If your actions harm others, reflect. If your words create pain, learn. If wise people give you feedback, listen. But do not confuse honest self-reflection with approval addiction. One comes from wisdom, the other comes from fear. A wise person can accept correction without losing self-worth. A fearful person sees every correction as rejection. A wise person can choose their path without needing everyone to agree. A fearful person cannot move unless someone approves. A wise person wants to grow. A fearful person wants to be liked at any cost. Choose wisdom. To live fully, you must become comfortable with not being for everyone. Not everyone will like your energy. Not everyone will understand your silence. Not everyone will appreciate your kindness. Not everyone will respect your boundaries. Not everyone will celebrate your growth. This is not a tragedy. This is part of life. A flower does not stop blooming because someone does not like its color. The moon does not stop shining because someone is too distracted to look up. A river does not stop flowing because someone does not understand where it is going. In the same way, you must not stop living because someone does not approve of your path. The more you release approval, the more peaceful your life becomes. You stop explaining every choice. You stop checking every reaction. You stop changing yourself to fit every room. You stop begging for validation from people who do not even know your heart. You begin to move with quiet confidence. This confidence is not loud. It is not arrogance. It is the simple inner knowing that your life is precious, your time is limited, and your peace matters. It is the understanding that you cannot spend your short life trying to be acceptable to everyone. It is the courage to live with sincerity, even when no one applauds. When you no longer need approval, you can love people more freely. This may sound strange, but it is true. If you need approval from someone, your love becomes mixed with fear. You may hide your truth to keep them close. You may become resentful when they do not validate you. You may give too much in order to receive praise. But when you are free from needing approval, you can love with less attachment. You can give without begging. You can listen without losing yourself. You can stay or leave with more wisdom. Approval addiction also affects your relationship with success. Many people do not chase success because it is meaningful. They chase success because they want to be seen. They want to prove something to those who doubted them. They want applause. They want envy. They want to feel important. But success built only on approval often becomes another prison. You reach one level, and then you need more recognition. You receive praise, and then you fear losing it. You become known, but not free. Buddhism asks us to examine desire. Why do you want what you want? Is it coming from wisdom or wound? Is it coming from service or ego? Is it coming from love or comparison? This question can purify your path. You may still work hard. You may still create. You may still achieve. But now your action comes from a cleaner place. You are not only trying to prove your worth, you are expressing your life. This shift changes everything. Work becomes less desperate, growth becomes less bitter, success becomes less heavy. You do your best, but you do not offer your soul to the crowd. You create, serve, learn, and grow, but you remember that applause is not the same as peace. To live before you die, stop asking the world to tell you who you are. The world is too unstable for that. Some people will see your light, some will only see their own shadow. Some will love you when you are useful, some will leave when you become honest, some will praise you today and forget you tomorrow. If you depend on all of this, you will never truly rest. Return to yourself, return to your breath, return to your values, return to the quiet wisdom that does not need to shout. Ask yourself each day, am I living with awareness? Am I becoming more compassionate? Am I walking toward peace? Am I being honest with my own heart? If the answer is yes, keep walking, even if the world is silent, even if some people judge, even if no one claps. Keep walking. Your life does not need to be approved by everyone to be meaningful. Your healing does not need to be understood by everyone to be real. Your growth does not need to be celebrated by everyone to be valuable. Your path does not need to look like someone else's path to be sacred. One day, when your life comes to its final chapter, you will not wish you had pleased more people who never truly knew you. You will not wish you had spent more years performing for approval. You will not wish you had hidden your truth more perfectly. You will wish you had lived more deeply, loved more honestly, released fear sooner, and trusted your own soul earlier. So do not wait until the end to learn this. Learn it now. Let approval be something you appreciate when it comes, but not something you need to survive. Let criticism be something you examine when it is useful, but not something that destroys your peace. Let your life be guided by wisdom, not by the changing weather of other people's opinions. Stop needing the world to approve your life. The world may never fully understand you, but you can understand your own heart. You can live with sincerity. You can choose peace. You can follow the path that makes your soul lighter, wiser, and more awake. This is what it means to live fully. It means you stop living as a prisoner of eyes watching you. It means you stop asking every voice for permission. It means you stop abandoning your truth for temporary acceptance. It means you finally give yourself the freedom to be real. And when you are real, life becomes deeper. Your breath feels more honest. Your relationships become cleaner. Your choices become lighter. Your heart becomes less divided. You no longer have to perform your existence. You can simply live it. Live with kindness. Live with wisdom. Live with humility. But do not live chained to approval. Your time is too precious. Your soul is too sacred. Your life is too short. Walk your path with awareness, even if not everyone understands. Choose what is true, even if not everyone approves. Become peaceful, even if the world remains noisy. This is freedom. This is awakening. This is how you live before you die. Buddhism teaches us that living fully does not mean chasing every desire, collecting every pleasure, or trying to make life perfect. Living fully means waking up to the life that is already here. It means becoming present, peaceful, honest, kind, and aware before time quietly passes away. These lessons remind us that life is temporary, your breath is temporary, your body is temporary, your relationships are temporary, your pain is temporary. Even the things you love most are changing every day. But this truth is not here to make you afraid, it is here to make you awake. When you understand that life is passing, you stop wasting your days on useless anger, jealousy, comparison, ego, and regret. You stop begging the world to approve your life. You stop carrying the past like it is still alive. You stop waiting for perfect conditions before you become peaceful. You begin to see that this moment, this breath, and this day are already precious. To live before you die means to love while you still have the chance. Forgive what your heart is ready to release. Speak kind words before they become regret. Appreciate the people who are still here. Protect your peace before exhaustion teaches you its value. Choose truth before pretending becomes your whole life. It also means letting go. Let go of what you cannot control. Let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Let go of desires that only make you empty. Let go of pain that has already taught you enough. Let go of the old version of yourself that no longer belongs to your path. A full life is not always loud. Sometimes it is simple, quiet, and deeply awake. It is found in a peaceful breath, a kind word, a grateful heart, a truthful choice, a gentle goodbye, and the courage to begin again. One day, every person will reach the final moment of this life. On that day, what will matter is not how many people approved of you, how much you owned, or how perfectly life went. What will matter is whether you were truly present, whether you loved deeply, whether you became wiser through pain, whether you chose peace over ego, whether you lived with a heart that was awake. So do not wait for death to teach you the value of life. Let wisdom teach you now. Come back to this breath. Come back to this moment. Come back to yourself. Live fully while you are still here. Love deeply while your heart can still feel. Walk gently while your feet can still move. Choose peace while your mind can still awaken. Because life is not waiting somewhere far away in the future. Life is here, right now, quietly asking you to notice it before it passes.